Welcome back to I Did This Instead of Killing Myself, everyone. Happy Labor Day weekend. Hope you guys had an awesome Labor Day. It's the week of September 6th, 2022. This is a stand-up comedy podcast. My name is David Bakker. Subscribe, like, all that stuff if you haven't already. Appreciate you. I hope you guys are having a good start to your week, and I hope you didn't have to work yesterday. I know some of you guys did. I'm coming back from a weekend getaway, and I feel 10 pounds heavier and kind of bloated, but that's okay because this week's guest makes up for it. And this is episode 69 of the podcast. We're going to do something special because 69 comics, I don't know. It's kind of dumb. But we didn't really plan it like this, but I think we got a great guest for the special number 69. Our guest today, Kirk. Lewis. I didn't know Lewis at all before we did this episode. All I knew is I saw him at Mike's and I thought he was really funny. So Kirk is local to Greenville. He's been doing comedy about 9 months. But the thing I loved about Lewis upon first seeing him on stage is his impressions. So this, as far as I know, is the first impressionist we've had. But Lewis is hilarious at impressions. He does a fantastic Jordan Peterson impression. He does a Steve-O impression. He does a great Ronald Reagan impression. And he also has really funny, smart writing with what he does. So in this interview, we dug into that. That was one of the first things we talked about. He does some impressions for us. But there's, I just think of funny impressions, I see them done, and that's all I really do. Like most people, I just appreciate them and laugh at them. But Lewis is pretty technical. He's got a musical background as well. So he actually has an ear for it, and he has a science behind how he develops an impression, and he talks about that. So that's pretty interesting. We talked also about multiverses, Osama bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, Norm Macdonald, and a whole bunch of other stuff too. Really enjoyed this interview. Hope you enjoy it too. Just put it on as you're going about your day at your cubicle or whatever you're doing, getting back into your work week. So hope you enjoyed the interview. Before we get into the interview though, here's what's going on this week in local comedy, the week of September 6th, 2022. So tonight is Tuesday night now. We have the Radio Room at 8 p.m. It's hosted by Bill Reiner and Jeff Thompson or myself. That's an 8 o'clock show. Show up, sign up. Also tonight, we have the Art Bar at 8:30 in Columbia. That's hosted by Patrick Fowler. Also tonight, we have the Auditorium hosted by James Harrod. That's a 9 o'clock show. On Wednesday, we have the Disclaimer open mic at the Asheville Music Hall, 8 o'clock start time. Carrie Goff is a good point of contact. Also on Wednesday, we have a new mic. This is one run by Swamp Rabbit Comedy / Tom Emmons. This is at the VFW, 112 Sterling Grove Road in Piedmont, South Carolina. 6 o'clock sign up, 6:30 show. Get with Tom for details. On Thursday, Comedy Zone is back, the Jokes Out Loud show. It's an 8 o'clock show hosted by Brandon Rainwater. Sign up for that is on the Jokes Out Loud Facebook page every Sunday at 5. And this Friday at Habiba's, we have the All Jokes Aside show hosted by Dante Anderson, 9 o'clock show. Come on out. And this weekend, we have our celebrity comic at the Comedy Zone is Justin Hires. He has 2 shows on Friday at 6 and 9 and 2 shows on Saturday at 6 and 9. Tickets available at greenvillecomedyzone.com. All right, that's it for local comedy. Hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I hope you enjoy my interview with Kirk. Here it is. Yeah, that's how you hold the mic as a real comic?
Yeah, you want to hold the mic cable. You don't want to actually hold the mic.
Who holds it like that? Who told you
just
to
like
do
a lot
that?
of I see comics on YouTube and they always hold it like they got something to prove. Like they're just like trying to make. I see this a lot. I see this. What? I think it's wacky. Just right there. Like yeah. They hold it like a cup of coffee or something.
Yeah, I don't even know how I hold it.
You just hold it like a regular guy?
I just hold it like a regular.
Yeah, like
okay.
Yeah,
so it's not weird.
No, it's not weird.
That's good.
I don't know. I think about these things.
So, dude, I was glad. I wanted to mention the memes you were just describing.
The Focusrite meme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's in the picture, but yeah, Lewis said that this meme is if you see a man who owns one of these red Focusrite audio interfaces,
get out.
Fucking run.
You gotta run.
because it means they have a podcast.
Yeah, or it means they make music, which is also unacceptable.
Yeah, like a SoundCloud rapper or something.
Unless you're already famous.
Unless you're already famous.
Yeah, because then it's cool. But if you're trying, it's like get a job.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. I had a ton of anxiety about this stupid. Yeah, but thanks for coming, dude.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
this is great.
Sluice Kirk.
Hello.
Fucking hilarious, dude.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you came because I don't know anything about you at all.
Yeah, that's right.
I literally just seen you at Mike's and we hadn't talked much.
That's true.
But I think I don't even know how long you've been doing comedy. Let's step first.
Yeah, I've been it's about 9 months.
9 months?
Yeah.
Okay.
So December. Yeah, a few weeks before Christmas last year, I went up for the first time.
Time flies, man.
Yeah, it really does. It's insane.
Yeah. So 9 months. And I remember you being hilarious out of the gate.
Oh, thanks.
But
I got lucky the first mic, I think.
What was the first mic you did? Was it Coffee?
It was Coffee Underground. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you do voices.
Yes.
That's why, oh my God. Like, I mean, I feel like a new comic, like if you're good at impressions, like that is, I mean, that's a way to be really good early.
It's a cheat code, kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even know how to feel about it, to be honest.
No, I mean, I don't mean to like be negative about it. It's amazing because your impressions are really good. I actually want you to do some in a set.
Thanks.
Like I was gonna see if you'd be willing.
You're gonna pimp me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
that's fine.
Not yet, but I was gonna say
it'll be organic.
Well, when did you start doing impressions?
I started doing impressions. I remember watching TV with my mom, like after school, after dinner. Like we would watch like That 70s Show, or just like different shit like that. We watched a lot of Project Runway. Okay. And I still love that show. It's a great show. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it. Was that hosted by Tyra Banks?
No, she did America's Next Top Model. This was Heidi Klum.
Okay. I know Heidi Klum.
Yeah, she's great.
I remember her. I'm actually old enough. She's probably now way out of the modeling game. I remember Heidi Klum. Wasn't she the Sports Illustrated model or like? Yeah, was she Victoria's Secret or something?
She was all over the place. She's a supermodel. Yeah. But anyways, and then Tim Gunn is the co-host and like the coach for the designers. They like make clothes. Okay. And Tim Gunn, like that was the first voice I think I did an impression of. Was like, designers, we have 10 minutes to get to the runway. Just like, because his voice was so amazing and like, anything like I noticed my mom would laugh anytime Tim would say something very Timish. Yeah. So I thought, oh, there's something there. So I would do an impression of him, and then mom, she'd laugh at that impression. So I was like, oh, maybe there's something there. And then I started. That was probably when I was like 15 or so. I started working in restaurants when I was 16 as a host. Okay. And I started having really silly managers, to put it nicely, I guess. Yeah. And some of the managers were just real characters, and I would do impressions of them at the host stand to make my coworkers laugh. Okay. Impressions of the managers to make them Would you ever do impressions for the customers as they walked in? No. No? Okay. So I would try to be professional. But then, I mean, they would just be like, come look, like, do the impression for so-and-so. And I'd be like, and I'd do it, and they would like, I'd get a laugh out of it. And that's when I was like, oh, I might, have something here. You know? But I've been mimicking sounds like for as long as I can remember. Mimicking sounds? Just any sounds. Any sounds. Bird calls, just like whatever. Could you do a bird call? Right now? Sure. I'd have to I can do like a little... I don't know. That's something. That's not a bird. I think it was picking it up. Okay. I think it was picking it up. Yeah. That's good. That was good. But yeah. Sirens? You ever do siren? Can you do the like? It hurts. Dude, that's tight. That's tight. Oh, the audio waves look cool on that. If you look on the the wow. Thing. Yeah. Like normal speech looks like a heart rate monitor, but that looked like yeah, that's wild. Yeah, I was just in over in London, and they have the different sounding sirens. Oh yeah, could you do the European ones? I don't know know their sirens yet. I just think of like the Jason Bourne movies or whatever. That kind of. Oh yes. I'm not gonna, but okay, those are good, dude. That's awesome. Okay, so the impression thing is cool because the first the impressionist I think of first is Jim Carrey. Yeah, he's great.
When he started his comedy career, he did impressions early.
The James Dean and all of that.
Yeah.
He's great.
Did you like impressionists growing up?
I I always thought it was really lame.
Really?
But also really cool. Kind of like beatboxing.
Okay.
Like beatboxing is really cool, but it's also like it's kind of lame.
Yeah.
Somehow, I don't know. It's both.
Yeah.
But I knew that like if I really have a talent for this, like, and I'd be leaving money on the table if I don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
But there's definitely some impressionists in the game right now that are incredible. I think Frank Caliendo. Yeah,
that was the other one I was gonna.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, he's insane. Like the Fox NFL Sunday team, he joined and he would do.
Yeah.
Well, John Madden, I think, is his like most iconic one or one of the most iconic ones he does.
Oh, he kills anytime he goes on like those news TV shows. He fucking murders.
Yeah. I love it. But like what I love about your stuff is that and I think this is the same reason Jim Carrey branched out from just impressions out like in his stand-up was he did like jokes too. Mm-hmm. You build really smart material into like what your impressions are.
Thank you, yeah.
Like you actually have really good jokes. It's not just like your voice sounds like them. Like the jokes are funny as hell.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like it would be really sort of hollow. And it wouldn't really be comedy if I was just doing a pure impression.
Right.
Also, like, who wants to just hear, like, a pure impression? Like, that's impressive, but, like, okay.
Right.
You know, it's like a hyper-realistic, charcoal painting or whatever. It's like, that's very cool, but you could basically just take a photo instead.
Right,
like,
yeah.
But if you inject humor into it, no offense to, like, my hyper-realistic painters out there.
Yeah, it's art.
Awesome.
It's real art.
It's real
when
art.
You're writing jokes.
Yeah. But, yeah, I like to poke fun because the people that I'm doing impressions of I think are fascinating people, but also they're people I tend to disagree with in some way or another.
Absolutely.
And so I just have to poke fun at it.
No, I love that.
Not that I disagree with a lot of Steve-O's stuff, but
yeah.
Steve-O's.
You got a Steve-O impression, dude. Steve-O is. I almost wanted to save it, but
I'll drop it when you least expect it.
Yeah. Just go into it.
I'll just turn into Steve.
Yeah.
But no, he's great. He's just got a wicked ego on him.
Yeah.
But that's what happens.
His
when
voice
you get
is real
sober.
distinct. I think because he like did so many drugs and
he has a deviated septum.
Deviated septum. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So he's losing. It's supposed to be a closed system, like the nasal passage and everything.
Yeah.
So that you can get enough pressure on the larynx and pharynx to just get your voice out naturally.
Right.
But if you have a hole in your nasal cavity, you're losing suction. So what he's doing is he's pulling it together. And that's what he has to do to talk. And that's what he has to. He doesn't have any other choice. If you just you're Steve-O because that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
If he took his because he takes like voice lessons to relax, to try to relax everything.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't do it because he says, my chick likes it. So it's like, and it's part of his act.
Yeah.
It's iconic. So it's like if Gilbert Gottfried decided to not do his voice anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I think he still has to have it because now that he's clean and sober, like I think the raspy voice kind of helps maintain that like crazy like
the identity,
the jackass identity that
definitely he worked for that, so to speak.
Yeah. And good for him for getting sober. It's not like the jackass people were like worried he was gonna like kill himself or something.
Yeah, I mean he's a hero of mine now.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, like there's not a ton of there's a lot of celebrities that you hear get sober, but I don't identify with a lot of them. I think it's because I've seen what Steve-O could recover from. Yeah. It's like, okay, like then there's no excuse for me. Like,
yeah. Did you get sober?
I was like completely abstinent from alcohol for a few years, and now I drink like on very rare occasion.
Okay.
And I just smoke a lot of weed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cali sober life.
Yeah, and I don't know. I drink this Kratom. I don't know if you've.
I know what Kratom is.
Yeah. Don't start, kids.
I know a few comics. I won't name them. Mm-hmm. Actually, I know one comic who he just had a bag of it.
Oh, word. That's gnarly.
And I think this person was using it to cope with a prior pill addiction.
Yes, is
that typically what it is for? So can you just be addicted to Kratom?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am.
You are?
Yeah. But it works for me, What
is it?
It's a the leaves and root of a plant that grows in Southeast Asia.
Okay, and it's completely legal.
Yeah, for better and for worse. Yes, it's completely
So what is
legal.
addicting about it?
Well, it's basically an opiate.
Okay.
Or an opioid analgesic, if you want to get like specific about it. But it's like related to poppy, opium, stuff like that. So,
but it's not as harmful, or like
it depends on the user, you know.
Okay.
It depends on where you want to go with it.
But is it better than being addicted to pills? Pretty objectively,
I would say so. It's not as hard on your liver as pills.
Okay.
OxyContin's like so hard on the liver.
Okay.
And a lot of the other ones are.
I gotcha.
So like, yeah, if you're going for longevity but you want to have fun,
yeah.
I think it's great.
Okay.
But you know, if you're someone that is struggling with addiction, and you don't want to add a new thing to the list, so to speak, I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend sticking to like weed and stuff like that. Kava, maybe. I've heard kava is like completely non-addictive.
Kava?
Yeah.
Explain what that is. I don't even know.
It's a similar situation, just like you grind it up and drink it with tea.
Okay.
It has to be massaged to like activate it, and then you just drink it, and it gets you drunk, basically.
Okay.
But I say drunk.
Not like alcohol drunk, though? Like a little bit of like a...
It's sort of wavy. Like, it kind of reminds me of like the way a red wine makes you feel mixed with like weed.
Okay. Interesting.
If I had to.
That's an that is really interesting. Like a new category of buzz.
Yeah, they're great alternatives.
Yeah, you know? It's like O'Doul's alternatives.
Yeah, no, I hate O'Doul's.
I can't drink non-alcoholic beer.
No, they suck.
I had one non-alcoholic beer one time in Asheville. It was like a locally brewed non-alcoholic at a show. Just because sometimes I feel bad because a lot of times the bar, like I'll get a Coke and they won't charge me, and I feel like I'm not even tipping.
Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about it.
No. That's like an unspoken thing. If a sober person goes and gets a soda, they're like, for sure.
Yeah.
It's never like, you can leave $1 if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I like to leave something, but
you don't have to.
They don't have to.
They're like, oh, word, you know.
Well, that's good to know.
Because they know you're not going to be a cash cow for them. So they're like, oh, here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably not worth their time. They'd rather ring up another person and get, you know. But because sometimes I kind of wanted to buy something. So I was like, do you have a non-alcoholic beer? Mm-hmm. And I had half of it at the show. And, you know, she said it had, you know, no alcohol, but I think it did have like trace amounts. And I finished half of the beer. And then by the time I finished or got halfway done, I was starting to feel the effects ever so slightly.
Right.
And
I had it's so tricky.
Yeah. And I had a lot of like, I don't know, a little bit of dread creeping back in of like, oh.
You're like reading the label over and over again?
Yeah, well, it was in a glass, so I didn't have the label.
That makes it even worse.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure exactly.
Like, I swear this is Budweiser. Like, I ordered a tonic. I don't drink like any spirits anymore, but I ordered just a tonic water at a bar recently.
Okay.
And I kept sipping it, and I was like, I swear to God, there's vodka in this.
Yeah, because it's so often mixed with that.
Right, that's all I've ever had, and I just couldn't finish it. I was like, I left. I went home.
Yeah, that kind of tripped me out. I think I left early too after I had that. I was like,
But you don't got to worry about that. That's like less alcohol than kombucha. It's like 0.03%.
Yeah.
But anyways,
so it'd be fine.
What were we talking about?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Impressions.
We were talking about Steve-O for a second.
Yeah,
oh
Steve-O.
yeah, the one I like specifically love of yours, and I like that you pick people you don't agree with always on 100% of things, was your Ronald Reagan impression.
Oh, thank you.
I like that because that's super fresh to me. Like,
you know,
like I don't know of any comics that do Ronald Reagan impressions of anybody I watch.
I have to give a little credit where credit's due. There's a couple comedians on the Dollop podcast. Have you ever listened to the Dollop?
No.
Hilarious history comedy podcast.
Okay.
Highly recommend it.
Okay.
And I'm blanking on the guys' names, but they love to riff on Ronald Reagan.
Do they?
So they have like their own little Reagan bits, which are hilarious. So I was like, I sort of springboarded off of that, and I just like do my own Reagan bit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and it's like you think Reagan, you know, that was a long time ago, but I think his voice was like iconic, and people vaguely remember Reagan, and even his voice, like it's funny enough. Like everybody in the room last night was laughing at the Reagan impression, and I don't think know everybody necessarily was like a huge Reagan fan or dialed into the Cold War, like depending on the different ages of people or you know, whatever.
But everyone gets it.
Yeah, and the bit. Oh my God, I won't make you burn it. Like I don't even. I mean, ask you to like.
Well, the bit with Nancy,
the Nancy Reagan,
like
and
being good at oral sex is like that's commonly known.
Okay.
Like maybe like it's niche, but like people that are into history know this.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if that's even. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, but like, so a lot of people know
it's kind of
that.
understood, like,
Yeah,
off the
yeah.
record, like that was
That yeah,
it's
that
not
she
in the
was
textbook,
like,
but
"Come here, Ronnie," like you
Yeah.
know, sit down, like
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Nancy, like you know, so and I just love it. Yeah, that sloppy toppy, because they had so much influence on this country.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole like self-sufficiency
Yeah.
and like pull yourself up by your bootstraps
Yeah.
is like Reagan didn't invent it, but you know,
Right.
you know.
I think he and again, I'm kind of like a poser Reagan, like history guy. Like there's a lot that I'm sure I don't know, but
There's a
it
lot.
seemed like as
no one
a
knows.
Hollywood actor,
Mm-hmm.
he kind of was able to package that messaging in a way that resonated more so than a normal politician would be able to. He was very good at kind of delivering that simple message that seemed like he was, you know, talking direct to his base or whoever.
Definitely. But he was just, it was, I mean, it's like when someone goes to college and they flip from like you grow up Democratic and then you go to college, depending on where you go, and you come out a Republican.
Yeah,
like,
Reagan going from liberal to conservative.
like anyone, yeah, that shit
Yeah.
happens. Like
Yeah.
my dad was raised conservative, and then he went to college, and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to be a liberal now."
Yeah.
and so you know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not like she was literally like prodding him into like you know
Yeah.
raise or like cut taxes or whatever. But
yeah, I mean, it's cool. I lean right for sure fiscally and stuff, but I don't mind talking about politics. Like I really would love to be able to talk with more people in a non like stressful way
Yeah.
about all the stuff, because I
Mhm.
think there could be less tension. But
Definitely.
but things change too. Like I was raised real conservative.
Mhm.
Went to a very conservative on paper college. I don't know if you ever heard of Hillsdale College, but if you look at any rankings of like the most conservative ideological colleges, it ranks pretty high up there.
Okay,
It's
gotcha.
probably closer to like libertarian in position,
Sure.
because we're so hardcore libertarian and distrustful of the government. We don't accept any money from the federal government whatsoever, including grants that subsidize scholarships.
You're on some Ron Swanson shit.
Oh, they are yeah, dude. No, that's a great way to think about it.
That's
So, you know, I actually like that attitude, kind of like, screw you guys, like we're not going to take your money, and then we get to have our curriculum.
yeah.
And it's not like Fox News indoctrination there. It's like a classical education from the perspective of like the I don't know, history, philosophy, just like the original kind of, and you know, you do a lot of thinking there. There's a lot of diversity of thought there, but anyway, still pretty conservative and right leaning. And then I'd say since I've started doing comedy and doing more creative things, I'm swinging back left in a lot of ways when it comes to being open to ideas and open to other things. So
ebb and flow.
Yeah, the ebb and flow. I still have the pretty. I did economics in college, so I have some pretty unchanging beliefs about prices and how the economy works. That kind of stay the same. But in terms of like social issues, I'm very like, yeah, you know, middle to left, I guess.
Yeah, people just got to be nice.
Yeah, people just be nice. Yeah,
It's pretty easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just not, try to be mad at other things.
Yeah.
Like, be mad at the government. Don't be mad at like teenagers.
Yeah. And nobody actually argues. It's funny to me because nobody actually argues in real life about any of this stuff. It feels like they play it out on the internet, and
oh, it's a scourge.
And then
it's
maybe
terrible.
a little bit if you go to like political speeches or rallies.
Yeah. That
or protests.
That
those are like
that the social media thing is just rotting everything. I mean, I know that's not a hot take, but it's bad.
Well, what do you see? I mean, like, yeah. What are your thoughts on it, though? I know a lot of people say that about social media, but
I mean, I fucking love TikTok.
You do?
It makes me laugh so hard, but also like my brain feels like it's smoothing out.
Yeah.
Like so.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm becoming a less patient person the more I use these apps.
Yeah.
Because I'm so into the instant gratification.
Yep.
Which is so unnatural.
Yep.
Like instant gratification in nature is like doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
Except for like masturbating maybe.
Right.
Or like finding a pineapple.
And that's not even instant,
Yeah, no, you still got to work for that.
I mean, if I could get
at least a few minutes.
instant masturbate, yeah,
just
that'd be yeah, if that could be a thing, that would be.
We're getting there.
That'd be dangerous.
Yeah, we're getting there.
But I was. Oh shit! Did you have something?
I was just gonna say it's. I was gonna say, although I do love TikTok and it makes me laugh, like piss my pants laughing, you know, we all need to. I hope that if civilization lasts for a few more decades, I hope that
Yeah.
I hope that we look back on social media like we looked back on smoking one day.
Yeah.
You know, like holy shit. Like,
yeah.
doctors were using it, like little kids had it, like you know.
That may very well be.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because I mean, dude, Malaysia is like in civil war, like Haiti, like all these little countries. They're on Facebook, and it's like there's two groups, and they each have Facebook groups.
Right.
And that literally just, you zoom out, and it becomes a fucking class war, and their country's burning down because of Facebook.
Wait. I wasn't familiar with this. This is happening in Haiti and Malaysia?
Yeah. I know
Haiti always has political unrest.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah. I visited there a long time ago. But
there was some implication in that. Tell me about it, and don't look into it.
Wait, you have a Haiti background?
No. I was just saying, like, don't, you know, I'm not saying nothing about anything.
Oh,
never
okay.
mind.
Okay.
We'll edit this out.
No, well, I don't even know that.
But yeah, Facebook is. I mean, it's like, have you seen Mark Zuckerberg? Like, the dude is like,
yeah.
I think
he's a robot.
He's got to be traumatized secretly deep down inside because he knows it's like destroying society.
Yeah, and it's something that's...
Or he's been replaced by a robot.
Or, yeah. And it's like a monster that he can't even like rein in now. It's not possible.
I mean, he's a billionaire.
Yeah. I was listening to Louis C.K. and Joe List on Joe Rogan today. Did you see that he was on there?
No,
I didn't. It just came out. I just saw it pop up.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I can't wait to finish it. I've only like got 20 minutes into the interview.
Nice.
But, you know, they just produced their own movie.
Yeah.
4th of July, which I watched last week, and it was really good.
Nice.
But they were talking about the methodology of like getting it out there and how he puts it out on his website and everything. And they were talking about the same kind of thing with the algorithm and how, you know, Louis self-producing and self-releasing. When it came to the algorithm, how Louis put it was just it's a big suck, and it's kind of like brought to you, like the algorithm, like your content is provided for you based on past click behavior.
Right.
So you're just being fed whatever rabbit hole you happen to have gone down most recently. So art is having to be pushed kind of through these channels with like how these people are putting stuff out there with whether it's YouTube, TikTok, or all these others.
Yeah.
So he thinks and hopes people might start getting into an appetite of like, okay, I get it. The algorithm's going to give me shit that's going to like satisfy me quickly, but like maybe I want to go outside of it and find things that are maybe different that I could like, you know, enjoy, or a little fresher. And that's what he kind of thinks, you know, he's started to build with his fan base. I don't know if are you a fan of Louis C.K.?
Oh yeah. Huge fan.
I mean, he has got a black eye on his resume, but you know, I still love him a lot.
He's one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think any comic would agree.
Yeah. I enjoy him too because he'll talk serious on podcasts because he's been a lot of podcasts. Like you can find interviews where he's actually talking about how he does shit. Like he's not always a character.
Yeah.
But
have you seen it's a little comics roundtable with Louis C.K., Ricky Gervais, and
seen it a few times.
Who's the third one? Is it Chris Rock?
Chris Rock. Yeah,
that's a great conversation.
Yeah. That was fun. That was funny and serious.
Because Louis had that great bit where he was like, whatever he would close with, he would make that his opener.
Yeah.
And he would switch them so that he was punching up everything. Like, not just working on like one
he said the rest of his act cauterized because it had to. Because you're just out there vulnerable. You got to like find a way to make it better.
Yeah.
You ever tried that?
No.
I mean, 9 months in, I guess.
Say what?
I mean, 9 months in, it's probably like...
Yeah.
You don't really need to like have a 45-minute act where you're switching shit around.
Right, but, no. I try to connect... I try to have logical segues.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna break my back and make it super wordy just so that something flows. Like, if I have to have some sort of a rough transition, I'll just make that the bit, you know.
It's not even that bad if you just finish the joke, have a pause, and just change direction.
Yeah.
As long as you have a lot of leeway with stand-up. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's
like it doesn't. It's not like a movie where it has to follow a perfect.
Right.
It can, but it doesn't have to.
That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
because I'm a huge fan of Andy Kaufman also.
Andy Kaufman.
And when I saw his Elvis impression, I almost cried, I think.
Really?
Yeah, because it was, I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's absolutely perfect. And the way that he fakes you out with the bizarre Johnny Cash impression, like, hi, I'm Johnny Cash. And then he does another shit impression. And it's like, hi, I'm so-and-so.
Right.
But then he starts, tapping and he gets the hair. And he's already transformed before he even turns around. You can see it.
Yeah.
Like his aura changes. And then he sings like this guy practiced for dozens and dozens of hours to get that down.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
I can at least try.
That inspired you?
Yeah, hugely. Yeah, hugely.
When did you see it? How old were you?
I was like 22, living in Texas when I was in college.
How old are you now?
27.
27.
Yeah.
Okay, so 5 years ago.
So that was when I started really thinking about trying stand-up.
Yeah.
I thought about doing it for like 6 years or so.
Oh,
before I actually
wow.
went up. Just like, so I have a music background.
Okay.
I spent like 10 or 11 years playing in bands before I started going up.
What instrument?
Drums and bass.
Okay.
Mostly drums.
Okay.
Yeah, but the guitar was my first instrument.
Okay. So you got rhythm, drums and bass.
Yeah. I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
So I'm a rocker first and foremost.
Okay.
But I think that also gave me the confidence to be comfortable up on stage.
Yeah.
And also, when you're the drummer, this is very vain. I'm a very vain person, you see.
Yeah, I mean, me too. Obviously,
we're
look at
comics.
us. Yeah.
All these lights.
Yeah. For sure.
But so I was always like on stage behind the kit, and I would never make
kit.
Yeah. I'd never make the photos because I'm like hidden by drums and shit.
Oh yeah.
So I'd always go and like look at the gig photos and be like, oh, no one took a picture of me. I'm like, look at me.
Is your head visible just like behind?
Yeah, and I'm just like
hey, bro,
like making some terrible face.
Yeah.
But so I was like, I want to get up.
You want to be center stage, man. You want to be the lead singer.
Get all these other boys off the stage.
Yeah.
But that is pretty much how it went down.
Okay, so if you got a music background, did that give you a clue as to how to develop impressions? Because like, did you do any recording or stuff like that? Because I'm curious about how you get good.
Shit.
Oh yeah,
my bad.
No, you're good. As long as, yeah, that's fine.
Hey, yeah, it's still picking me up.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how people develop impressions necessarily. Because you practice it, do you record yourself and play it back, and then see like how close does that based on my best judgment?
So I have done that. I'm glad you asked, because there's really like one true method of doing an impression that's like, it's just the easiest method. Okay. And I don't know if there's a name for it, but it's it's what Frank Caliendo does. And it's all about oral posture, which just means the very specific shape of someone's mouth, nose, and throat.
Mouth, nose, and throat.
And that's all a voice is.
Okay.
Remove the personality, remove the age, the whatever. It's all about just this.
Mouth, nose, and throat.
So let me think of an example. Like Steve-O is a perfect example. So if you think about Steve-O's larynx, it's super tight. Yeah, super tight.
Yeah. Can you put the mic a little closer?
Yeah, super tight. So it's really tight. And then
there's a lot of slippage in the nasal area, so you want to keep that open. So
keep the nose open as much as you can.
Yeah.
And then as far as the mouth shape, he's pulling his tongue back a little bit. He's almost
suctioning his tongue
to
the roof of his mouth a little bit. That's how you get that, dude.
That's where that lives, is you have to find the position. And if you can find the position, you can do anyone.
Yeah.
It's magic.
Yeah.
Assuming
go ahead.
Assuming you're in a similar range, like I can't do someone with a very deep voice.
Okay.
Like it's just not going to work. And I can't do impressions of a lot of women because obviously like it's just
not high
it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I can impersonate like their mouth shape and stuff and like try to do their mannerisms, but it's not going to ultimately sound like them.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's what I do is I watch videos of them talking.
Okay.
And I look at
how much like a content do you consume of them talking before you feel like, okay, I kind of got an idea?
So the process is like you want to get a few different vowels.
Okay.
Like so Jordan Peterson, his big...
I love your Jordan Peterson impression, dude.
I saw a couple guys on TikTok doing Jordan Peterson impressions, and I was like, those are really good. Mm-hmm. And I think I might be able to do like one better, or at least I need to try because they're getting lots of likes.
And dude, what I love about it is I'm assuming you lean left politically.
Oh yeah.
So you're probably not a fan of Jordan Peterson, but
we agree on some things.
Yeah, well that's cool, but I don't even care. I like him, but it's fine. But like I love that on stage, like you don't. It's not shitting on Jordan Peterson in a it's not like you resent the guy. Like it can be enjoyed by people who love him or hate him.
Right.
It's like right down the middle.
That's
in a
what
way that I really appreciate, because I love comics that aren't political in position, you know.
Right, because you're going to lose half the crowd.
Yeah, I think it's
days.
a little bit arrogant if you assume like half the country voted the other way, no matter which side you're on. So like, why would you try to inject that opinion and assume yours was right? But anyway, So the Jordan Peterson one, how did you nail that one?
So so Jordan Peterson is Weepy Kermit the Frog.
Okay, yeah.
So if Kermit the Frog is, he's kind of sad.
Yeah.
And then you dial that back a little bit and you make it more grounded, and then you get more dignity and you sit up straight, you know. So it's right there. You just dial it back from Kermit the Frog. He's not about to cry, but he has been crying at some point today.
Okay, yeah.
Because the man cries a lot.
Yeah,
and look,
he does, dude.
I think that's great. I think it's like, I'm not even joking. I think it's cool that he's so vulnerable with everybody.
Yeah.
Whether he meant to start crying or what in these interviews. Sometimes he's like, hell is real. And I'm like, okay, buddy, you're grown. You're grown. It's okay. But also I feel for him, because he's human. But anyways, how the first sound you want to get with Jordan Peterson is the O vowel. So so instead of monster, it's monster.
Okay.
Monster, because he's Canadian, right?
Right.
So you just do a Canadian, and just sort of exaggerate a little bit.
Yeah.
But basically, you want to learn a few different vowel sounds and just practice those.
Not everything. You want to focus in.
Yeah, and
I feel like
because so much of our speech is based on like 4 or 5 like vowels,
right?
And then just like the random consonants or whatever it's sprinkled in between. So if you can get those, that's where you start.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because some of my favorite impressionists, like if I think about maybe SNL characters over the years, the impression might not be, like, it's clearly not them, but they nailed a couple of key things that just make it hilarious.
Exactly. That's what I mean with the certain vowels.
Right.
Like all you need is a few, and you need to like get some of their mannerisms right.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
And it'll click.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although, and I'm sure you've seen some SNL impressions that are just garbage. I'm trying to think. There's some guy that does Biden. I
know Jim Carrey had done Biden as a guest.
He was pretty good.
He was good.
But there are some impressions you see and you're like, oh man, they're not even trying.
Yeah.
And that's no good.
What do you think of Daryl Hammond?
I don't think I know Daryl.
You know Daryl Hammond? He did. His most famous impression was Celebrity Jeopardy. He was Sean Connery.
Oh, okay.
Do you know that one?
No, I don't know.
What?
That one. No.
Oh man.
What's his last name?
Daryl Hammond.
Hammond. Does he have a junior?
He did Trump before Alec Baldwin.
Okay.
So, and I liked his Trump much better than Alec Baldwin.
Baldwin's Trump sucked.
You agree? Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's ever.
He scrunched his face up too much.
Yeah.
Like Trump does that, but he doesn't do it all the time.
Yeah. I should send you a Daryl Hammond clip.
Yes,
he was just here at the Comedy Zone, and I grew up watching SNL in the '90s, and one of the favorite ones. He did Al Gore around the 2000 election,
nice.
And when there was that thing, and he did a great Gore. He did a lot of impressions. He had a great Clinton. He was he had a really good.
Presidential impressions are always timeless.
They're very fun.
Yeah.
There was one.
I can't get enough of this Liquid Death.
Liquid Death.
It's just delicious.
Yeah.
For a little organic plug there.
Yeah. A plug for a sponsor we don't have.
We don't have a sponsor.
But I hear Liquid Death will sponsor anyone, regardless of how bad the content is.
That's right.
By bad, I don't mean this one, because this episode's.
No, we're burning up the charts right now.
Well, we're burning through it, bro. This is good.
Excuse me.
This is good stuff. I more meant the offensive shit that's been said on this that I just don't edit for whatever reason.
Oh, fuff.
Yeah.
We're not big
if you
league.
listen to 2 hours of a local comedy podcast and you want to whatever, You can cancel us. That's fine.
You can try.
Yeah.
I can't help but notice Norm Macdonald retweeted you over there.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
You like Norm. You love Norm.
I love Norm,
I love
man.
Norm too. He's probably my number one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the story behind that, I think I mentioned it before, but he's pointing at a framed tweet that somebody got that for me.
Mhm.
It was really nice, but
Yeah, that is a nice gift.
it was I was driving back from Charlotte, I remember, and it was like 1 a.m.
Mhm.
and I just read the book and I tweeted that I liked it
That one?
and a comment about it. Yeah, and then he took the time to reply and
Nice.
actually when he put my name in the tweet, I was like, dude, I want to kind of save a picture of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so where did your love of Norm start?
Late. I didn't know who Norm was until I was like 21 or 22, and some college buddies showed me his Norm Macdonald Live, the podcast he did.
Oh my god,
Damn.
dude.
And I just it was probably the hardest I'd ever laughed up to that point. I mean, I was about to throw up. I was laughing so hard because I'd never seen anything the way that he gets.
For people who haven't seen Norm Macdonald live, because it's not a show that's like available. That
it's kind of hard to
you
find.
kind of have to find it.
It's on I think it was on the podcast app that comes with iPhones.
Okay.
So but it might not be on there anymore.
But it might not have video then.
There's a lot on YouTube. You can watch a lot of it on YouTube.
Okay,
like
yeah.
fan-made compilations.
Yeah, for sure.
But the way Norm would get the guest to say something, and then Norm goes, "Well, now why are you laughing at that?" Or like, you know, like the way and then the little twinkle in Norm's eye,
Yeah.
and just the little smile he does. It kills me.
Yeah.
And I remember I heard his what is it, the corn, the hatchery bit. It's the one where Uncle Larry like goes to Vietnam and like mows down a village with his machine gun.
Yeah.
Do you know that bit?
No. I probably have seen it once, but I'm not.
He tells it on Stern. It's like a
Okay.
15-minute joke.
Okay.
15-minute walk. But it was, like I said, it was like the hardest thing I'd ever laughed. And I was like, whoa.
Wait, so can you cliff note it?
Oh, no, I can't.
No,
I can't.
I mean, it's
I
tough
really
to-
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry to like bring up a bit and like not do the synopsis, but you'll see
No.
why I'm not even going to try. Because if I mess it up halfway through,
Yeah. No, that's cool. Did you see the one where he I love how he did like the blue card jokes that he'd have the guests read.
Yeah.
And I think he did one about airlines. And he said JetBlue Airlines was first in customer satisfaction. He said, you know what the last airline is? 9/11 Airlines. He's like, what a horrible name for an airline. Reminds me of that tragedy.
You remind me of that tragedy. Yeah.
And then Nick Swartz was on, and he's like, Jesus Christ. And then Adam Egget cracks up, and then he's like, oh, don't laugh at 9/11.
Exactly.
I walked through blood and bones in the streets of Manhattan.
Walk through blood and bones
to look for my baby brother. He was in northern Canada.
Dude,
That
is so good. That is such a good bit. He was in northern Canada.
Yeah.
The way he like kind of straightens up the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, just his inflection, his tone, all of his delivery.
Yeah.
So good. So smart, but not pandering.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't, you know.
And he was self-deprecating too. Like I felt like he was kind of the real deal the whole time, like not a hidden ego or whatever.
Yeah, no, he was straight up. He was honest.
And
I need to read more about him though.
have you read that book?
No, I haven't.
Dude, read it.
I ought to.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's a page turner for sure, man. Because you know, a lot of comics, I think, like Steve Martin has a memoir that's more of a traditional format. This is like a novel. So it's like a story that has like real details mixed with like stuff that is so absurd fiction that it can't be true.
Right.
And like he'll change format of the writing.
Okay.
Like at one point he said like the editor got fired and there's like no punctuation or capitalization or anything for like several pages.
Hell yeah.
And there's some crazy ass stories in there that are just so
Norm
funny.
wrote it.
Norm wrote it.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Looks like it. That's the only name on the cover.
Yeah. Forward by Louis C.K.
Nice.
Yeah, he's in good company. I'm a big fan.
But yeah, I like Norm.
So the live show was the first thing you saw Norm Macdonald live?
And then I just started looking at his stand-up. To be honest, I still haven't seen all of his work. I know he's so damn funny. I don't even have to. Like,
Yeah.
Like, you know, I just, whenever the content comes, I just watch it. But I was gonna say, I forgot.
Oh, you're good.
A lot of marijuana over the years.
What do you think of Dana Carvey?
I like Dana Carvey.
Because he's like a classic
I
impressionist.
love Dana Carvey, I should say.
Really?
Yeah. It took me a second. Like I said, a lot of marijuana.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Is he one of your Mount Rushmore impressionist guys?
Oh, yeah, for impressions, for sure.
Yeah.
He does the Beatles impressions, which are classic. Hey, Mom, how about you go into the kitchen and make me some blueberry pancakes? I think he said that was the first impression he did. And it was sort of a similar situation that I had where he was just trying to make his parents laugh, like when they were watching TV. And then he does. I mean, his George Bush was incredible.
Yeah.
Or his George
Bush Sr.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
He's great.
Have you seen his SNL audition tape?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh.
I ought to.
He does like a impression of a rock star. He says, "Very hard to be a rock star. You gotta flare your nostrils, pretend like you're about to vomit." And then he's like playing the piano, and then he's like singing a song really passionately.
Yeah.
But it's about broccoli.
Hell yeah.
Like chopping broccoli, and then he just
chopping broccoli.
Chopping broccoli.
Yes.
Yeah, that was his audition tape.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
And he just keeps going in these crazy. Yeah, I can't do impressions.
I gotta watch that when I get home.
Yeah, dude. That made me love Dana Carvey. The favorite, actually, one of my favorite comedy documentaries is Too Funny to Fail. Have you heard of that one?
No.
That's about the Dana Carvey show.
Okay.
I guess I could describe it real quick, but Dana Carvey.
Describe it for me.
I'll describe it. Yeah, it was kind of a funny, like, lining up of the stars, because Dana Carvey was just like a rock star on SNL. He was huge at the time. I was a little too young to remember exactly. You definitely probably were, but when he left, everybody was wondering, what's Dana Carvey going to do next? Because he could basically, like, any network would put on a show that had Dana Carvey.
Right.
So he had done, all of his SNL impressions, but he kind of wanted to do something different that he really thought was funny and loved to do. And he basically was given unlimited resources to fill out his dream team of writers, cast, to do whatever the hell they wanted. Wow. And they did a sketch show. It was called The Dana Carvey Show.
Okay.
So they call it Too Funny to Fail because they had everything going for them.
Mm-hmm.
And they got Louis C.K. on there. They had Stephen Colbert, Steve Carell. Oof. It was what made these people's careers.
Wow.
It's on Hulu. It's a really good
fantastic
documentary.
I got that. Yeah, I'll watch that one.
I
got homework.
Yeah. It's so basically, I won't spoil too much, but basically, I mean, they were given this amazing opportunity, and they got these guys that were like savages.
Mm-hmm.
So it was so funny, but they were given a primetime slot on ABC right after Home Improvement.
Oh no.
Yeah. So the very first sketch they did was he was Bill Clinton, and he said he basically breastfeeds puppies with like nipples that lactated.
Oh my god.
That was the opening sketch. And he said, "I'm the father of this nation, but I'm also the mother too." And he like, "Come over here." They kept feeding live puppies to him as he's I
can't believe. Yeah, I gotta see that.
It was the most great. They set a record for most, like, how fast the ratings went down in like a single minute
evening
window. Yeah,
or a minute. Wow.
Yeah, or however long. I mean, I don't know how fast they can track those ratings.
Just immediately.
Yeah. And they had to come back and like apologize the next episode, and they only lasted one season.
Yeah.
And
they weren't ready.
No.
What year was this?
This was, was
it late 70s?
Late 90s.
Late 90s, right. Not late 70s. Late 90s, right, because Wayne's World was around then.
So it would have done great on like an HBO probably, like, even at the time, I think it would have done okay. But the great part was, it was funny to watch all the guys talking about it now, just laughing at like, what were we thinking? Like,
I love Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
After like the 2020 election, the Trump content it's like, okay, enough. Like,
a little partisan.
I understand that like the network is just giving him shit and he's just picking up a paycheck, a very nice paycheck.
Yeah.
But Stephen Colbert is a monster. Like
monster.
Like he's a monster. the improvising he did, he was on Whose Line, right? Or am I high? I'm pretty sure he was.
Carey.
He was on like some early seasons, but yeah, I'm sure he is, because he did. I can remember him playing improv games on that. But he's such a great improviser.
Yeah.
And
I always liked the Colbert Report.
Oh yeah.
He was such a character.
Yeah, that was a show that I would watch with Mom back in the day. It was
So-
like Colbert Report and Project Runway.
And Jon Stewart was to follow, right? It was those
that's
two.
right.
Now,
Man, that was
Jon Stewart's great too.
I love Jon Stewart.
So my understanding was the Colbert Report was kind of like he was supposed to be a right-leaning caricature.
Yes.
Is that kind of how like a
Yeah.
Ron Swanson sort of like, and then
Even more right, like less libertarian and more just like conservative,
right, and then
like a Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Oh, Tucker. Yeah, and then Jon Stewart was more like just kind of left, but you know, poking fun.
Yeah, he was telling you how he really felt.
At anything and everything, and they always had great compilations on that show. But
Jon Stewart has a great podcast now. What's it called?
I don't know. I'm glad he's back out there though. I always liked him because he was like a kind of a liberal that I liked to listen to because I felt like he was pretty measured. Like he would acknowledge when he felt like his own side was kind of. I like people that'll do that more moderate and less whatever.
Yeah, and he's not a dick.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple.
Yeah, he's got that cool thing where he's trying to save the dudes from the 9/11.
Yeah. They got cancer from the rubble.
Yeah.
And a lot of them died and like got zero help from the state or from the city or whatever. Yeah, he's still out there sticking it to senators, like getting in their face. Be like, you're a piece of shit. Like I'm like, oh hell yeah.
Out on the Capitol.
Forget Twitter. Like he's following them to their car.
Yeah,
like he's out on the street.
Yeah.
And that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
What else?
Well,
What?
we could talk about impressionists all day.
Oh yeah.
I
just you were talking about I was talking about there's two components to impressions. There's the oral posture and then there's the ears.
Okay.
So another piece of advice for anyone that wants to do impressions is just to get good at listening critically.
Okay.
So and what I mean by that is listen to music and focus in and listen to the different instruments and try to identify what's happening.
Okay.
So is that a trumpet or is that a saxophone?
Right.
And then there's a keyboard too, and if you listen really closely, there's acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
And your ears are just going to become better at picking up on things.
Okay.
And then once you hear, and not everyone is easy to do an impression of, obviously. Norm Macdonald is really hard to do an impression of.
Yeah.
I can't even try.
Yeah.
I'll just embarrass myself. There's a few people that can do it, and Frank Caliendo is one of them.
Yeah.
But if you just find someone that has a crazy voice and just, like I said, look at how their mouth, look at the oral posture, and just listen with headphones.
Okay, with headphones.
Yeah, with headphones if you can.
Okay.
Because that's going to give you the nice, the consonants and everything.
Okay, so I mean, how did you feel when you first started doing these on stage? Because you could think you have it nailed, and you've done your homework and stuff, but do you still feel like, okay, shit, I hope this gets laughs when I do it in front of people? Because that's the ultimate kind of test.
I definitely hope it. Well, it comes down to who the fuck is Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
Because some people don't know who that is.
Right.
And I've still,
that one gets me because I watch him a lot.
Right.
But.
So, and a lot of people our age and Gen X know Jordan Peterson.
Right.
And a lot of people, he's a household name. But there's still people that don't know who he is. So there is that in the back of my head, okay, I hope this is a Jordan Peterson crowd.
Yeah.
But frankly, I've done impressions for people so many times, and they always go sometimes they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
They're like,
yeah.
That's how did you do that? Not to sound arrogant, but so I'm confident in the impression, but I'm not always confident that people are going to know who it is.
So the recognition.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved, and I think I asked you about this last night. You still have it in your stand-up material that you do, the conversation between Jordan Peterson and Steve.
Oh, yes.
Because those are two polar opposite types of characters.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it works pretty universally because they'll know one of them, and the conversation is funny.
And it's I spend so much time on YouTube. YouTube is my cable.
Really? Yeah,
so
me too, dude. I think
great.
It's
free.
Yeah, somebody was asking me about if I'd seen a commercial recently that they thought was funny, and I was like, you know what? I don't even watch TV anymore.
No.
I have YouTube TV if I want to watch a sport or something, but if I have to sit through several commercials. Like I'm like, are you kidding me?
Game over.
What is?
Yeah.
This isn't worth my time.
Yeah.
So like, where do you spend most of your time on YouTube? Are you watching podcast stuff, or are you?
Lately, I've been watching a lot of Kill Tony. You ever watch Kill Tony?
Yeah. I say yeah. I've not sit through one. I've seen like clips of the open mic 1 minute thing.
Yeah.
Is that most of the show?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they
That's
just
basically the whole show.
1 minute and then interview, and they do like 5 or 7.
Yeah,
and they have a few they have a few members that are they do a minute every week, and they're like actual comics.
I gotcha.
So sort of round out the show.
Yeah. So cool story about one of the local South Carolina people. A guy moved from Charleston. Doug Smith or Doug Allen. We had him. He did an interview, and he's in Austin now, and he got a minute spot on Kill Tony. Nice. Did great.
Hell yeah.
And,
good for him.
Yeah, it was so
You don't
cool.
want to get eviscerated by Tony Hinchcliffe.
No. No. And I guess, 60 seconds, how bad could it be? I mean, as long as you don't like piss your pants or do something like
Right.
I mean,
I came home from Coffee Underground one night, and the algorithm gave me thank you, algorithm. It gave me the latest, because it airs Monday night, so it was right when I got home from Coffee Underground. It was airing,
and that's how you came across it.
Yeah, and I was like, I clicked on it, and I was like, damn, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
and I found it's a really good resource for comedians, because like anyone can watch great comedy everywhere.
Yeah,
but I think it's also important to watch bad comedy.
Yeah,
it's like the importance of watching bad music, or
we get that every week.
Hell yeah, we do.
Watching each other.
Yeah, there's no shortage of bad comedy. But what I mean is, just learning what not to do.
Right.
Like Miles Davis said, it's the notes you don't play.
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck he said.
Yeah. Louis said the same thing. He said when he first got into it, he was so obsessed. He tried to download everything stand-up into his system, watching good and bad comics specifically.
And also, say what you will about Tony, I think it's important that hack comedians get told to their face that they suck. Yeah. Because no one else is going to do that, I don't think. Yeah. No one's going to have the balls to be like, instead of being like, good set, being like, hey, that sucked. No one's going to do that. Yeah. And the reason I say that's essential is because you don't have to do stand-up. Right. Only funny people like you and me need to do stand-up. so when you've seen someone like 5 weeks in a row and they're trying the same material and it's not working, and you just feel for him. You're like, buddy, you gotta mix it up. Yeah. Or like Tony is gonna be like, listen to me. Yeah. This isn't working. Right. None of it. Right. Regroup or quit. Come back and we'll see what you got. And then someone will be like, I've been doing this for 5 years, Tony. And Tony goes, Jesus fucking Christ. He can't believe it. Yeah. It's mean, but people need to hear that shit. No, people need to be told the truth for sure. And I'm still like very new. So like, how long have you been doing it? 2 years. Okay, nice. So since COVID basically. But it's I feel like with new comics, there's like this sort of like, dude, those news sirens are so weird. Yeah. Woo, woo, yeah. Woo. It's like what is that? Yeah, it sounds like they're underwater. It vibrates at a frequency that deaf people can hear. Dude, I love how sensitive your ears are to the different. Oh, yeah. I'm like, I think I'm autistic or something. I don't know. No, seriously. You honed it in. No, I might be. Yeah. It would be a nice little explanation. Right. For all this. Yeah. Well, we all have something fucked up if we're doing this, but you get the best out of it. It's good. I think it's all I can still make eye contact. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, you're doing great. What was I gonna say? Oh, with new comics, I feel like there's maybe like this sort of like, Jerry Seinfeld said something about this, how like when you start comedy, you're like a baby and you kind of like come along. So like when you're a kid and you do something wrong, you don't need to be told you suck, fuck you. Like if you're super new, you kind of need to be like encouraged. Agreed. For the little steps that that you're, because just getting up there, right? Kudos to anybody. Oh yeah, definitely. And then definitely. You like even like I think expert or like the pros would probably not shit on a brand new person, right? And Tony will do that. He'll be like, "Oh, it's your first time." Well, that makes sense. And then he'll like immediately like lay off. Yeah, and I think for the show, it's kind of like maybe Simon Cowell-esque, where like you shit on people when it's part of it probably. Yeah. But like just in a scene, you should like kind of be encouraging, and then gradually start saying, "Well, you could do this," or if you have something to say or whatever.
But sometimes if it's not if it's like just totally off.
And I mean, I'm talking a lot of shit for someone that's only done this for 9 months, but this was my problem.
I think it's
this is my problem with music too, is that I just like to talk shit, and so
I think it's great.
I would talk so much shit at gigs or whatever that like I would get a reputation for just talking shit. And
what would you say at gigs, dude?
Just like, this band sucks, or like, because I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I think everyone needs to try harder.
Yeah,
I really do. But that's neither here nor there. But like, so I mean, everyone's a critic, but I'm especially a critic. So I'm very critical of myself, but I'm also like, I just can't help it being critical. Others. But it's when I hear that a comic has been doing it for how many years?
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's at that point, it's like masochistic.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Or it's just like a disconnect in their brain that's not allowing the feedback to resonate.
Right.
Because like the audience should be giving you the feedback, and if you can't hear it objectively, then you either need to be told or you got a disorder. Because with stand-up, I don't think there's anything. I don't know. I mean, you can you can delude yourself into thinking a set's good or bad. That's why I record all my. Do you record all yours?
Yeah.
I have to record it just to like see how if it was as good or as bad as I thought afterwards, because it's so hard to. I mean, if it felt good. I mean, but
you can't hear up there. Like you can't hear, you can't see.
Yeah. And sometimes, you feel horrible about a set and you go back and you're like, well, it was bad, but it wasn't like kill yourself bad.
Right.
There's hopefully.
Dude, if I make one guy laugh like a few times, it's not a failure.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can always shit on yourself if a joke doesn't work. And usually if people aren't absolute assholes, they'll laugh at that.
Right. Yeah.
So, but
it does. One thing that gets to me about comedy is, I mean, I'm in it for the long run. I'm going to do it. Like, I'm not going to stop.
Yeah, me neither.
Nice.
Yeah.
But like, shit, it's going to take us a decade. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, I don't think of anyone except maybe Dave Chappelle or like, John Mulaney that had like a somewhat of a meteoric rise. But like,
and even Chappelle started at like 14, I think.
Right.
So he had put in his work by the time he was discovered.
Yeah.
And I don't know about Mulaney's background.
I think he had
started.
like 6 or 7 years. He was on like a regular at Comedy Store.
Okay.
Like they were like, this dude's fucking funny. I mean, Mulaney's a killer. I love John Mulaney.
Yeah, he is.
I absolutely love John Mulaney. Who doesn't?
Yeah. Yeah, I love that he fell from grace a little bit and got back on the it was so funny.
He's got a little bit of a he's got a little bit of
turkey neck.
Yeah, he's got that ice cream late night belly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I didn't notice the belly. But
it's not even a belly. He just looks healthier.
Like, oh yeah.
Because I mean, he was so skinny. It was like part of his act.
That cocaine.
Yeah.
Kind of skinniness
that cocaine
that creeps in when you see actors like who's the guy on Friends that Matthew Perry. I don't know
did he start doing coke?
I don't know if you know this. I'm aging myself with this reference, but if you watch Friends, and I don't watch Friends because I fucking hate it, but I did notice this, how his weight fluctuates a lot throughout the show. Like he goes from stage being like overly pudgy, and then he's real skinny, and
dude, Hollywood's rough.
Yeah, Hollywood is rough.
Especially if you're the face that's selling the ticket, so to speak.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, for sure. But back to your 10-year comment. I mean, what are your have you set like objective goals in comedy, like what you want to do with it? And
is that Churchill?
That's Churchill.
Nice.
Yeah.
We will never surrender.
Yeah, I like him from like World War II stuff, fighting the Nazis.
Oh yeah, Churchill's fucking badass.
Yeah, I saw that movie Darkest Hour.
Ooh, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it? Okay, really good movie. Gary Oldman.
Okay. I've seen
Churchill,
clips of it, yeah.
And he's so disguised as Churchill with the makeup. You wouldn't even know it was him.
Yeah,
unless
Gary
you
Oldman loves to get into some fucking makeup.
Yeah. And this is a shameless plug to my college, but the president of my college was studied under the official biographer of Churchill.
Cool.
And he was brought in to consult for the movie because he knew so much about the nuances of like his daily life and like all of the stuff with the movie. I think Gary Oldman came and talked at our school for that. But anyway, that movie is really well done, and it's kind of like the tipping point of like when it was at its worst,
right?
And nobody was going to stand up. There was a lot of people wanted to just sign us something and appease it and get some
Band-Aid.
Yeah, which Churchill didn't believe Hitler would stick to anything they signed.
Right.
So
rightfully so.
Yeah. and he wasn't getting any help from America at that point, and he had to like kind of rally. They dramatize it a little bit in terms of the timeline.
Sure.
It was,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that stuck with me. So I like.
Hell yeah!
I just got that.
If you like Churchill, you should watch The Crown on Netflix.
Okay.
It is fantastic.
Dude, I will. I've been looking for a new show to stream.
It's a really great historical fiction. It's based on historical events throughout the Crown, so it goes from when Queen Elizabeth, the one that's on the Crown now, from when she's like 16 to about the 80s, so around Margaret Thatcher era.
Okay.
But you get to see Churchill in all of his different prime minister slots.
Yeah.
And they develop into his personal life and more of like a tender, intimate side of Churchill, like the relationship he had with his daughter and his family and stuff like that, because his daughter drowned, I believe.
Okay.
And it was like this terrible thing.
Yeah, that's awful.
But there's an episode about that where he gets into painting,
Mm-hmm.
and he's painting this pond over and over again. He's just got hundreds of paintings of this pond, and he does it when he's like thinking about policy and stuff to clear his mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like having therapy sessions throughout the episode. And at the end
he went through actual therapy?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
Churchill did therapy.
I mean, he probably didn't let anyone know,
Right.
Because it would be emasculating. But,
right.
But yeah, the royal,
Especially at that time, I don't know. A
Mhm.
lot of people were doing therapy in the 40s or earlier if it was before that.
yeah. But later, the therapist he looks at the painting of the because Churchill can't figure out why he's obsessed with drawing this pond,
Mm-hmm.
and then his therapist said like, didn't your daughter drown like so and so? And
Yeah.
and you see Churchill's face. I forget the actor that plays him, but it's
Mhm.
just an incredible piece of television.
Yeah.
I just ruined it. I just spoiled it. So
No.
sorry about that.
I'll still watch
But,
it.
you should.
No. I've been
Yeah.
spoiling a shit ton of shit over here. So.
It's great. But we were talking about.
Did his daughter drown in a pond, or was that just the image that he represented?
Yeah, I think it was one or the other.
Yeah.
But I do know that he like lost a child, and it was really tough for him.
Yeah. That's
Because he was a
nuts.
hard drinker, hard smoker,
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. Did you ever? This is kind of a weird segue, but I was thinking about this. I think about weird shit. Did you ever study like dream analysis or dreams?
Not much, but I am fascinated by dreams.
Yeah. I've been having. I take naps a lot, or I had been.
Big nap guy.
Yeah.
What hour? Like 4 o'clock or 2
4
o'clock?
to 4.
That's the nap time.
Yeah, 4, or if I gotta work later than that, then maybe a little after and before stand up.
There you go.
Stand up can stress me out sometimes. Like,
Yeah, tell
so
me about it.
I like to write and then go to sleep, and then sometimes in a short nap, like I'll think about the ideas while I'm sleeping. I'm not all the way to the deep sleep.
You'll let your subconscious sort
it out. Yeah,
That's smart.
And then I wake up and then I'm like, oh, sometimes I'll hop out of bed when I have like a little thing, and I'm not trying to think about it. I'm just trying to like just
Right.
turn my brain off, my conscious brain off,
Yeah.
just to kind of clear it. And but in the course of that, I also started therapy recently.
Nice.
Which I'm glad there's like not a lot of stigma around it anymore.
No, there shouldn't be. Everyone should see a therapist.
Yeah. So I've just been thinking when you do therapy, they start talking about like foundational questions like, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
They ask, I'm like, I don't friggin' know. Like,
Right.
And he's like, well, here's some things to kind of think about or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I remembered I had watched some Carl Jung, Jordan Peterson thing, which that's like their whole deal about dream analysis and how the and I started writing down some dreams that really stood out to me.
Yeah.
And trying to pick out like the Churchill pond thing, like what symbolically those things may or may not mean.
Right.
And I have no idea if it's right, but I just kind of did some free writing about it. And then when I watched the Carl Jung video about dreams, he was kind of describing how Freud had a kind of a different theory. Freud sort of thought that the primary motivation for people was like sexual, and then
Sloppy toppy.
sloppy toppy. That's right. And Jung had a kind of a different view of it, that there was a lot more going on. Sexual was definitely
More
up there.
nuanced.
Yeah, there was like, well, Jung had a dream that Freud was in a basement, and that was where he was in one basement. That was like Freud's area. And then it like the bottom fell out, and then there was all of these other rooms beneath the basement. And that to him represented all of the other, motivations and things that were being expressed. I guess he thought that dreams were kind of like art and how they present themselves to us, because you experience a dream like a movie playing,
right?
And it has a narrative structure that you can follow in the dream as not being weird, and it like automatically happens, like this happens and this happens, and there's these characters, and your subconscious mind just makes this story, and it does it in a muddled, incoherent way. But Jung thought
sometimes it's terrifying.
Sometimes it's terrifying, and it basically is it's something. It's your thinking. It's something that's thinking, and it's trying to sort out something that you can't yet comprehend. Which is what painting kind of can be. What any sort of art where you're like on the edge of what you don't understand can kind of
just
be.
Feeling it out.
Yeah.
Broad strokes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I don't know. Kind of like you're saying, like, you know, tune your ear to like different instruments. Like I'm trying to pay attention more to like what I'm dreaming about when I do remember it, and see what those things might mean. I've had a couple trippy ones recently.
Do you have dreams that you're doing stand-up ever?
I'm sure I have. None that I've like written down or really could pull back. What about you?
I've had a few recently.
Yeah. What's in the dreams?
What's weird is it's like the same venue each time.
Yeah.
And it's not a real place. It's like an amalgam of different places that I've actually been to.
Right.
It's mostly based on this mountain house that I used to go to when I was a kid.
Okay.
But it's like this this log cabin stage, and it's like 400 or 500 people.
Okay.
And like all my best friends are in the front row.
Yeah.
And I'm like wasted, and like I can't get the mic to work, and like it's like cutting in and out, and like my drink spilled over.
Yeah.
And like no one's listening to me.
Yeah.
And then I walk off stage, and I was like, fuck, that sucked. And I like go into some weird room, and like they're always bad. I've only had a few.
The bad ones are the ones you remember.
Yeah.
I
also have dreams that I can skateboard.
Okay.
And they're amazing.
Yeah.
Like I can just kickflip. Like I have a kickflip button.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I watch a lot of skateboarding. It's like my football. Like I love skateboarding.
Okay.
I can't skate for shit. I can ride around and not look like a jackass.
Right.
And I can ollie, but that's it.
Yeah.
But I've watched so many people kickflip, and I've tried practicing for so many hours that I know what it looks like. I know you got to flick and pop and do this.
Yeah.
So my dream is so convincing.
Yeah.
And right now I'm like learning heel flips in my dream.
Okay. Oh,
like,
so you're actually
I'm like progressing.
You're working on this?
Yeah.
That's sweet. So you'd be like excited to go to bed, like, dude, I'm gonna do some sick shit tonight, dude.
Gnarly, dude. I'm gonna soar. I'm gonna hit this 12 stair. Seriously, like in one of my dreams, I did a tray flip down like a 15 stair.
Yeah.
And it was just butter, and I landed it just like nothing.
Okay, a tray flipped on a fifth. That's 3.
A 360 flip is it's a 360 shove it, so the board spins 360 this way and 360 the other way.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it's like the coolest trick. Tray
yeah,
flip. Yeah. I'll send you a few buttery tray flips.
Okay.
But,
I was gonna say you're gonna send a clip of the dream you doing it. But,
man,
that'd be pretty tight if you could capture the images that are playing in your brain.
It's so vivid.
Yeah,
because it's my college campus that I'm skating around.
Okay.
That's where I used to skate between class.
Yeah,
but and like waking up from those dreams, I'm legitimately like, oh man,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Just kidding. Man, if I could kick flip, God, if I could just kick flip, it's so hard, dude. Have you ever been on a skateboard?
Yeah, not in any serious way though.
Man, they make it look so easy.
Yeah,
and then you step on one, and you're like,
that's
shit.
why I haven't been on, because I'm so horrible.
It's tough.
Yeah.
A lot of respect to the skaters out there.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of funny skaters. Mark Norman's a skater.
Mark Norman? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any other comics that are skaters?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
But a lot of skaters are just coincidentally funny.
Yeah.
Just because like
they're kind of chill dudes. Mm-hmm. They're out there
loosey
open.
Goosey.
Yeah, and if you got to be kind of I don't know, brave.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a common trait of you
gotta have that confidence in yourself.
And they're kind of, that culture's kind of like outside the mainstream, I feel like, in general. So they're kind of that
confidence. That's something that I wanted to touch on. The most that I love about stand-up is that it's made me a more confident person.
Hell yeah, dude.
I struggle hugely with confidence.
Yeah, me too.
I always have.
Me too.
I think a lot
self-doubt, anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I don't tell people that I do stand up a lot because I just cringe. Like,
yeah, dude. Me neither.
But if it comes up and they go, holy shit, I could never do stand up. That feels good. I can't help but deny that feels good when people say that. So
my reaction to that, I guess it does feel good, but my reaction is yes, you could.
You could. But how good are You could try. I mean, anyone could try. I keep fucking with this clip. That is not going to come out. That's not going to work. That's not going to sound good. In the
you're
mix,
good. You're trying to hold it like the
yeah, I'm trying to hold it like
the comics you're talking about.
Schultz.
Yeah.
Andrew Schultz.
Yeah.
Who's hilarious, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how he holds it.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it. He like balances it on his thumb or some shit.
Yeah.
Look, when we're done, you gotta watch some specials and see what I mean.
I'm gonna be noticing things.
Because like that's all I notice. It's like, just, just like that.
Yeah. Shit, I was blanking on what I was.
I'm so distractible. I also forgot what we were talking about.
No, I was gonna say. I said everybody could do it.
Everybody could.
I guess what I mean by that is, if you really want to like put yourself like.
I see what you're saying.
People have like adrenaline outlets. Like I want to go skydiving,
right?
Or I want to do this really scary thing,
right?
Like in my opinion, it's a great bucket list item for any human being because public speaking is horrifying to most people.
Yeah.
And stand up is one of the most harsh environments for public speaking where you're like just those eyeballs, man.
Oh yeah. Say something funny.
Yeah. Like
No.
If you can rise to that occasion and survive it, like what a healthy, like brave thing. That's
sure.
completely harmless.
Yeah.
Physically.
Yep.
There's no risk in you dying.
Right.
I guess you could have a heart attack, but
then of course there's a difference between just going and trying it,
right?
Checking it off the list and being like, okay,
right.
I'm going to go up 4 times a week,
absolutely,
for 10 years,
right? Well, the opposite side of that is
to your
point. Yeah, I kind of view stand up because I have a sports background and the thing that I never felt like I was that naturally talented at sports.
What was your sport?
Football.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I have all this football shit.
I should have.
Yeah.
Fucking. I forget. I'm terrible at football. I was gonna. Is that the Heisman?
No, that's the Super Bowl trophy. That's the Green Bay Packers Super Bowl trophy. Dude, I don't care. Everybody likes the NFL. It's basic as shit. But
I should know that that's the Super Bowl trophy.
But football
anyways.
is my sport for a reason.
Nice.
I think because football is a sport that you don't need to necessarily. You can kind of like white knuckle it to get better at it. Like you can work hard in the weight room, and then on the field, I always play defense. And like if you have like this tenacity to like just try to hit people really hard, which isn't necessarily a skill. It's kind of like a brain, like you're a switch flipping in your brain. So I'm gonna fuck people up.
Yeah.
And if you turn that on, like you can just exert your own will on other people.
Right.
As opposed to a sport like baseball where it's very finesse and like you have to keep a cool head because you strike out 70% of the time, or not strike out, but you get out. And I could never handle a sport like baseball even as a child because I couldn't handle failing. And like I couldn't keep a level head. I was too down on myself and
dude.
this or that.
Same.
Yeah. So, when I applied that to stand up,
left field, that's where I was. Spinning around.
Right field. Left field's better. Right field, nobody. Right. Like,
oh wait, no, I was right field.
You're right field.
Yeah, that's where none of the balls go. Right.
Right. Exactly. Because left-handed batters tend to hit to right field, and there's not as many lefties.
That's right.
So if you put your worst player in right field, I was in right field.
Yeah, I was with another guy, and we would just do bits, just like dance around, do cartwheels and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. That's
there's
always the jokes about those kids that are just out there picking dandelions and shit.
Yeah,
and that was kind of what I was, except I was standing there terrified a ball was going to get hit to me and I was going to fuck up.
Oh god.
So
is there anything worse than like you got to run for it or something?
Yeah, I would cry when I got out in T-ball.
Shit.
Yeah, I would cry. My whole family was there. I would cry back to the dugout. Yeah, I was such a little bitch at like kindergarten age, and that little kid inside me still has that like, people like me, fuck. I still have that, so it's annoying.
Yeah.
But when I equate this to stand up, so my whole point is, I guess, with football, like when I played through college and everything, I always was like working hard and able to get results that way. When I say anybody can do stand up, like I say that because like I feel like just me being able to just do it at a low level of just by showing up every time, if you wanted to work hard and you're serious about it, you probably are going to get at least decent.
Oh yeah.
I think if you work,
if you
put in the work and you don't have some mental problem or something, like you get out what you put in sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
But at a certain point, you kind of have to apply the baseball idea of being okay with failing. Yeah. So that's why I like it too. It's not just like a grind. Like a bodybuilder could just fuck, I'm just going to do this. You got to kind of have to let go a little bit too.
There's gonna
so.
get days where you don't get a pump, so to speak.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah, and you got to be okay with that.
Right.
So like that's almost what I like the most is like the bombing. I don't like bombing, but like bombing
valuable.
grounds you and makes you
Yeah.
like, okay, well, the
Definitely.
world didn't end, so fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I'm getting all philosophical on stand up. But
Well, no, I mean, stand up and philosophy are hand in hand.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it comes off terribly. Sometimes it's hilarious. Sometimes
Mhm.
you don't even know that you're watching someone philosophize. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's a word, but
yeah,
I mean, it's on the subject of confidence.
yeah,
Like,
confidence. Yeah.
When I'm on stage, it's such a different. I mean, I'm essentially just playing a character.
right.
And even once I've stepped off stage, even if I did a good set, I sort of go right back down to like where I was before. Like,
Yeah.
no longer confident or like,
Really?
yeah, like maybe it'll last for maybe 15 or so minutes. But
Yeah.
I don't know, like,
Yeah.
but I don't know what it is. I just fucking hate myself. You know? Like, I can't help it.
Yeah.
I hate.
How is it? Over the course of the last 9 months. I mean, has it gotten better? Like,
Yeah. I got lucky on my first set and got some laughs, and then I had some really rough sets.
Do you remember what you did on your first set?
Yeah.
Did I already ask you that? I mean, we talked.
No,
You mentioned
I
where
don't
you
think
did it,
so.
but I can't remember. I don't think I asked what you
No, you didn't.
went with. Yeah.
I opened with I'm a stoner. Any stoners here?
Yeah.
The thing about being a stoner is, and then I just forgot. And people are like,
Yeah.
oh, haha,
Yeah.
I see what he did there.
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty sure maybe one other joke got a laugh, and other than that, it was nothing.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much what my first few months looked like. And
I
then I
gotcha.
started. I think I started doing impressions on like my third or no. I was always doing impressions.
I gotcha.
I had my second set I ever did was at the Kava Bar. They
Okay.
have a first Wednesday of the month. They have an open mic.
Okay.
I've been like keeping it to myself. I should
Yeah.
have shared it with you guys, but
Yeah. Well, do you know Birds Fly South just got canceled?
oh, why?
Oh, we don't know exactly, but Bill got a message that they had to shut it down anyway at the end of the month for fall stuff. But they also got a message that it's shut down effective immediately now.
Oh my god!
And I think it was Wednesday. Were you there? You were there Wednesday, right?
No, I wasn't.
You weren't there Wednesday?
I
Okay.
haven't been there in 2 weeks.
I gotcha. Yeah. Well, Travis was going off, and I was
As he should.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, but it echoes throughout that area.
The whole mall. So to
Yeah,
speak.
well, I was late coming in with Ben, and we were in the parking lot, like way far away, and we could hear Travis. I was like, "Oh my god, Travis is on stage right now!"
Shit.
And I think a couple other comics may have like some profanity was heard, and I get it. I mean, the people that
Soft
aren't there,
ass Greenville.
yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
Greenville is soft.
I agree. I like Asheville a lot better for audiences and quality of shows. No
Yeah.
offense, Greenville.
I say Greenville is soft, but I hate it when people rev their engines. I'm like, shut the hell up.
Yeah.
I don't care about your little Maserati or
Yeah.
whatever it is. There's a lot. I didn't think Greenville would ever be a car city or like a car town, but it's becoming one, dude.
Yeah.
All these
Just
slams.
downtown.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
fucking wild.
Yeah.
Are you from Greenville?
No, I'm from Michigan originally.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been here 2 years, basically since the beginning of 2020.
You should have seen this place 10 years ago.
Yeah.
There was like none
Nothing?
of these. This building and like every building like it wasn't built yet. I would
Really?
say. Yeah.
Wow.
The one center, the Clemson One building and all that was like, it was just dilapidated, like old town shit.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then even like 10 years before that, like the early aughts and the 90s, no one came downtown.
Yeah.
And then like when I was a kid, it was starting to get really popping when
Yeah.
we go to what's it called? What's that pizza place? Barley's. But
Yeah.
yeah, downtown has changed a lot.
Yeah, I really like living here
It's great.
because I just visited a couple of cities, or I do occasionally, like Atlanta, or I had a work thing in Denver, and some of these historically great cities, like with really cool downtowns, have really taken a nosedive since the pandemic.
Yes.
In terms of like the downtown experience, Denver had a real bad homeless problem, and just you didn't feel safe out at
Right.
night.
Right.
Like even during the day. I think at 9 a.m. I got approached by several homeless people, like more homeless people than I
A murder of homeless.
What's that?
A murder. A murder is what you call a group of crows. Yeah.
A murder of homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, just really bad. And but
Dude,
Greenville is kind of like exempt a little bit from that because it's small and I mean, we got a homeless problem. But in terms of like the downtown vibe and like it seems vibrant and, and growing.
Definitely.
Whereas others are kind of on the decline. Like New York City, I've heard is really rough.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
But it's New York City, baby.
Yeah.
It's you know,
they love the grime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Just don't be stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you're gonna find jackasses and con artists and homeless people everywhere.
Yeah.
But the pandemic, I mean, it plunged millions of people into poverty.
Yeah.
Just like no more house.
Yeah.
No more job.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been hurt. We've all been hit by it. I was gonna say Greenville is nice, but it's expensive, and the wages aren't very good here.
Yeah.
Like, the price of goods is like the same up north, but they pay better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind
the
if we could
pandemic
get paid a little better.
Freaking sucks. I mean, are you a big econ guy?
No, not really.
Well,
but I just know that the pandemic, it's like the jig is up on civilization.
Yeah.
That's how I saw it.
Well,
everyone was like, "Oh shit, we're the cogs."
Yeah.
And if we just don't go to work, nothing will work.
Right.
And for me, that made me feel more powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. For
in
sure.
a way.
For sure. No.
Even though I'm
absolutely.
just an ant.
Things we took for granted. Definitely got brought to light.
Workers have more leverage. They're starting to have more leverage.
Yeah, for sure. And
as a worker, I think that's really important.
No, I agree. I think that has to be negotiated. Like it can't be all one, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And there's got to be that freedom to like move around or like negotiate. Like but the thing that sucked about COVID to me was it was just like this double whammy that was impossible to get out of in that nobody could work, so nobody had money. So we had to pay people to stay at home. And when you do that, you expand the money supply at a rate that is just insane. And it's not not a bad policy because in a way you don't have a choice.
Right, exactly.
But now we're reaping the harmful consequences of that, which is inflation, and it was inevitable. And it's not a Trump or a Biden thing. They both printed money to address this. But now it's like we have to absorb this painful period to get back to a relatively normal state.
That's the thing
so
about
now we're like in the hangover of COVID, not like a health crisis, but an economic one.
Right.
And I'm pretty optimistic about I don't know if you follow interest rates.
No.
Okay. Well,
I just know they want to raise them.
The Federal Reserve Bank is raising interest rates, and they have to do that because it'll slow down the economy, but that's the only way to get inflation back under control. Right. So the housing market's going to go down.
Yeah. Or cause a recession, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, but it's cool because the stock market is starting to go up again because the Federal Reserve raised rates in their most recent raise. The rate of inflation came back and it's declining.
Okay, nice.
So the stock market's usually forward looking, so that'll go up.
I noticed
first
gas was going down
before the real economy. Yeah, gas is coming down a little bit. Yeah, that's good. So we're maybe getting some free reserves through Ukraine. So like I'm really optimistic about things getting better.
That's good.
I don't know. What do I know? But I think, I mean, it could all fucking go to shit. It's weird because unemployment is low. It's such a weird thing because people are working now.
But dude, this whole no one wants to work shit has got to stop.
Yeah.
The headline needs to be no one wants to work and yet we do. Like, I don't have any choice. What am I going to do? I'll just be homeless, I guess. Who needs a job? No, like that's not what a rational person does.
Yeah, people want to work.
Yeah. We just want to get paid a little better.
Right.
And I will have fun at work. I'm not even shitting.
Yeah. And then the employers on the other hand are facing it sucks because there's all these supply chain issues.
Yeah. Oh, it's
with China.
It's
so
fucked.
Like they're getting hit with costs, so they might go to an employee who asks for like a raise and be like, dude, if we raise our labor costs, we're gonna fucking go out of business. Yeah. So it's like everybody's squeezed.
Yes.
I like to think that I don't know.
This is the
right-leaning guy in me, but I like to think that business owners tend, hopefully, not to be evil guys twisting their mustaches, trying to fuck everyone.
Right.
Like I like to think on a fundamental level, there is some rationality to how and there are some exorbitant things going on.
Yeah. Well,
there are real kind of incentives that are at play on different levels, but
Speaking
don't
as
know.
someone that's worked in restaurants for like
Yeah, dude,
12
that's
years,
yeah.
most restaurant owners are stingy and greedy. They
They
have
are?
to be.
They have to
They
be.
have to be. That's how
Aren't
you
margins super tight on restaurants?
Yes, they're razor thin.
And food costs?
Yeah. And with the food costs have quintupled or like septupled since the pandemic.
Yeah.
And that's why everyone is shuttering their doors. But I was at work today until 2:00.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was done at 2, and there's like a PM team that comes in and relieves us, right?
Yeah.
And so we're all clocking out, and they're about to get like fucked.
Really?
And everything needs to be cleaned. The ovens need to be cleaned, which is really hard to do. There's this huge checklist of shit to do, and I
Yeah.
know that I'm leaving early
Yeah.
because of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And so there's this look on everyone's face of like, well, this sucks.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do about it?
There's literally nothing to
You can
do.
leave the industry. You can go work as a PA, or you can, leave the industry.
Right.
And then that's a different problem.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about comedy.
Yeah, dude. We don't have to talk.
How long have we been? Time's flying,
hour and
brother.
a half.
Hell yeah. Time's
That's
flying.
usually if it feels like it hasn't been that long, it's usually hopefully
Nice.
a good interview.
This is the kind of shit that sometimes I want to talk about on stage, and I never ever do.
Yeah. Like what?
Just like how fucked things are.
Yeah.
I tried it a few times, and I think it
Yeah.
mostly just freaks people out.
Yeah.
And there's nothing really, at the end of the day, there's nothing funny about it.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess it's kind of negative, so maybe people want to break from like we know.
Right.
It's
Yeah, they're
shitty.
like, yeah, oh my God, we came here to not hear
Yeah, we
this.
wanted to like
For God's sake.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere we can go where we don't have to hear this? So
Right.
that's what's always on my mind. Is like,
Yeah.
I want to talk to people about it, but also they're like, can we not?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because if they were at work with people, I'm sure they talked about it all day.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Zaslav yesterday
Uh-huh.
before the mic, and I was explaining to him this like metaphorical bit about like how the United States is like Game of Thrones. Like
Yeah.
they had a good run, but now we're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, I don't see the humor in it. Like it sounds very intellectual, and I don't see
Yeah.
that when I look at you. No offense. And I was like, damn, you're right. Like I don't need to be up there trying to be smart.
Yeah.
And he was like, just be funny.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
that. Just be funny.
Yeah, for sure.
I hate doing an impression of a guy that I know.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
but David's great. I love
Yeah.
David. But I
Yeah.
think he's right. Just don't fucking overthink it.
I mean,
Don't-
it could be right in part, but also I would say like if you want to try something that's like
Mhm.
out there and intellectual a little bit,
I think
it's
I
worth-
need a
it's
few
worth
more
trying.
years.
It's worth fucking around, especially early, like where we're at, in our first couple of years.
That's true. I mean, what are the stakes are nothing. We have
Yeah.
tons of time to cut our teeth and shit.
No, I love taking advice, and
Mhm.
I try because early on I would be too pendulum-y like on taking advice. I'd be like, if I heard one thing, I'd be like, oh fuck, like that's the only, and I'd be like,
Right.
I should take it in, put it where it belongs.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. And not say it's wrong, but at least look at it and not overreact or underreact. But I don't know. I love Zaslav though.
I just don't want to get ahead of myself on stage.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I burp a lot. It's like a bad habit. I do it on stage, and I'm trying not to do that anymore because I feel like it's kind of a gimmick.
I don't know.
And it reminds me of Rick and Morty.
Oh yeah, I'm not crazy about that show.
It's not for everyone.
Yeah, I
Dude,
think maybe
and
it's a taste thing.
it gets a little too much at times.
Yeah.
Especially the later seasons. It's heady. It's like, what's happening
Yeah.
exactly? But I
Yeah.
think the first 3 seasons are.
Yeah,
So
if
good.
you smoke a little bit and watch it, I find it more entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
You just gotta let go.
It's super trippy. Like, what are they doing? But yeah,
They've had a lot of influence on media. Everything's about the multiverse now. Like everything's about
they started
dimensions.
that.
Yeah, in a big way.
Okay.
Yeah, because like he's got the portal gun, Rick. He's got the
Yeah.
portal gun, and so you see that everywhere now.
Yeah.
even in video games. I mean, Portal came out like a decade before that, but
Okay.
there's still more implementation of like that mechanic of like
Yeah.
teleporting. I mean, the multiverse of madness, like Marvel's biting
Yeah.
it. Lots of different kids' cartoons are biting it.
Yeah.
I'm sort of sick of it. It's like, who gives a fuck about the multiverse?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like that's where I don't know.
That's where people lose me because like, okay, so there's an alternate version of me that's like happier or richer or like I don't care. I don't want to know that guy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I got to worry about
right here, right now, what we got.
Because
in
in this universe, like little kids in Palestine are getting bombed all the time. Like,
yeah.
So it's like, is it less of a tragedy if there's a multiverse where they're not getting bombed?
Right.
Like, and Israel's the one that's getting fucked? Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Is it any better? No.
No, I don't even. Yeah.
It's like Dan Harmon said, who's the creator of Rick and Morty. He was like, people talk about 9/11 being a conspiracy, and they miss the point that it's a tragedy.
Right.
Like, whether or not
it's a conspiracy.
Or not, people fucking died.
Yeah.
And it's like seared into our brains and it changed the world. So it's like,
dude,
we can talk about it being a conspiracy, but you also need to think about just like what happened.
9/11 was so insane. I mean, we forget.
It was all downhill from there, let me tell you.
Yeah. It's weird looking back at historical events. There always seems to be some big thing going on, but how old were you when 9/11 happened?
6.
6? Do you remember it?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I was
I remember everyone
12 or 13.
I remember everyone was talking about Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
I did a bit about this. I need to bring this back. Fuck, I forgot about this bit. But I thought they were saying, now back to Saddam Hussein, ... And I was like, what is he saying? Like, who is Saddam and what is he saying? Because I need to know what he's saying.
Yeah. Now
but
back to Saddam
then I was like,
Hussein.
no, it's like his name is Hussein. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, like our next story.
He did it?
We're on to Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
Saddam.
Oh, Saddam.
Oh, Saddam, you silly goose. You didn't have any weapons of mass destruction, but you loved us thinking that you did.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a fun couple months.
Oh,
did you know that one of Osama bin Laden's like cave treats was Doritos with like lukewarm water added to it? And he would eat it. He would eat it like soup.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, isn't that fucked up?
That's gross.
And he was like, the Americans have it figured out.
That's what he picked of all this shit.
Yeah, Doritos, and then he would take a kettle and pour like hot water into the bag. Yeah, what a psycho. That guy was a real jerk.
Yeah, that guy. That guy.
To quote Norm.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite Norm bits. That guy was a real jerk. Like
he murdered.
Albert Fish.
Albert
Fish.
He murdered his entire.
Both gray in color and demeanor. Fucking great.
He's like, this Albert Fish. This guy was a real jerk.
Yeah.
Like the most understated.
You think? Yeah. God damn.
Oh, that was great because the build up on that was like 5 minutes too.
Yeah, just such a long walk.
Yeah.
And then his little.
Yeah.
His little smirk that he does where he's like really proud of himself, but he's not like laughing at his own joke.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So charismatic.
Yeah. What time do you got to go?
Dude, I got a date with my couch here in about 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, I got a thing.
I got to watch Better Call Saul.
Oh shit! Yeah, I got to catch up on that.
It's so good. I'm on season 2. No spoilies.
Okay. Yeah. I got to watch the last season.
Fantastic.
I took a huge break, so I was confused when I went back a little bit. But I heard the last season is amazing.
Yeah. Apparently they're about to step on the gas.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
But hey, this was fun though.
We can keep going for a little bit.
Sure.
You good?
Yeah. Let's organically wrap it up.
Yeah. I gotta go probably by 7:30. It's 7:15 now. But
I just got that swallow on the mic. All the other ones I did. Yeah, that's gonna be gross.
What happened?
I swallowed on mic. Yeah. I usually, move it away for the swallow.
I'm probably not editing any of this.
Yeah. No, screw it. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm not the most offensive person that sat on this chair.
No. No. Oh my gosh.
Shout out Greenville Comics.
I'm probably the most. I don't know. It's some stupid shit, but
hey, that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah, man.
Do you think there's a multiverse?
Yeah, probably.
You do?
Probably. But like I say probably in that, space is pretty big.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this.
Yes.
So it's like and apparently space is flat when you zoom way out. So
okay.
Which makes no sense to me. But like when you hear these things from the physicists and it gets passed down, you're like, oh shit, that's real.
Do you know a lot about this?
I know. I really like space. I'm by no means an astrophysicist or anything like that. But I'm an amateur space.
Lay it out for me why you believe there's a multiverse based on some of the things that they say.
I think about the absurdity of life and the absurdity of like the concession of every day, just like waking up like, well, I got to get up and go to work, like that sort of thing. Like there's sort of an automatic drive in people that we don't understand. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it would just make sense that there are like in a different universe right now, we're not having this conversation because I never went up and did stand up because I learned my lesson here in life and I don't need validation anymore.
Yeah.
Because I think of all these alternate possibilities in my head and they're so feasible.
Yeah.
It's like surely they're happening.
Yeah.
Because the universe is so big.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Okay.
And I don't think that it's not like the multiverses are like parking spots next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't see them all at once. If you're in one, you don't know about the other one.
Right.
So I definitely don't think that there's like one like on top of us or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just think it's real in that I know black holes are real. I can't see black holes, and black holes are technically theoretical, but we have a picture of them, so I trust that they're real.
Yeah.
But I don't have any scientific jargon for why I think
No,
it's real.
I don't. I kind of am at the same.
Neil deGrasse Tyson would have a better answer. Yeah. Shit. Oh, man, I'm the worst.
No, you're good. It didn't stop recording.
There we go.
Yeah. Is this still... I moved that.
One thing check. Yeah,
I think we're
still
good.
One thing I am really into is black holes.
Black holes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just as like a concept, but also as a cosmic engine.
Yeah.
Because like we're orbiting the sun,
Yep.
but our star is orbiting a black hole.
Right.
At the center of the Milky Way.
Yeah,
right?
and a black hole happens when a star dies.
Yeah, a big
right?
enough star
A
goes
big enough
supernova.
star goes supernova and then dies, but the mass is still there.
Yes, and an infinite point.
Infinitesimally small point, yeah.
Which is like, and oh man, it's so cool, David. It's
Yeah.
so fucking cool. You got to look up like a map. Have you seen the map of how gravity affects like space time?
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
the
yeah.
Earth, it bends it.
It bends it.
Right.
It's like a ball on a blanket.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And so gravity, like an orbit, is like
falling
this is
into
Einstein's
that.
falling.
Yes.
It's like a falling motion.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's Einstein's theory, right?
Mm-hmm. It's part of it, yeah. So the Earth, bends at about this much. The sun bends at this much. But a black hole, it's like an exponential line all the way through space-time.
Yeah.
So there's a theory that you could puncture that hole, and on the other side is like a different universe or something like that, which is cool to think about.
Which is what they played with Interstellar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I keep forgetting I'm on a podcast. People are like, yeah, we fucking know. But I just love thinking of that idea of a picture of space-time, of when you get close to the black hole, of like a cliff.
Yeah.
And time speeds up or whatever. I don't know what happens.
Yeah.
But here's another theory I have. I don't know if I've told anyone about this theory, but we don't know what time is, right?
Yeah.
Or like we can't, like
we only know how to like mark it, sort of, but we don't know what it is.
So I feel like time is just gravity in a way.
Okay.
So let me explain it. Like what separates this moment from the next moment? Just me moving.
Yeah.
That's it. From all we know is that just me moving is showing us that we're moving through space-time. And that's just us experiencing gravity. There's no time at all. There is only gravity. Does that make sense?
I think so.
So like the only thing that separates like this moment and the future is that I stood up, and the only way that I could do that is because of gravity. I don't know.
Okay.
I was really high when I thought
because
of
you
this.
stood up. Okay. Yeah.
It proves
you're not able to. So how could you make time stop?
No, you just sit still.
You just sit still.
And time has stopped.
Yeah.
But of course we know that's not true, because like the way that the Earth orbits the sun, it's like slowly speeding up, I believe. The days on Earth are like getting shorter.
And just because we're made of matter, and we're on a planet that has mass, like there's no way for us to get out of the time problem.
Right.
Because we're impacted by gravity inevitably. The Earth is orbiting the sun. We're on a thing subject to gravity.
Yeah,
gravity is a great kind of foundational.
It's crazy
phenomenon.
There's a great quote from an astronaut. He was like, "I used to be afraid of heights, but now I know I'm just afraid of gravity."
Okay. Yeah.
Like, you're only afraid of the splat.
Right.
Getting sucked back down.
Exactly.
Another thing is like, I'm somewhat
down here actually.
I'm somewhat fascinated by astrology.
Okay.
I'm not like I don't do charts or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I just think it's fascinating because, like, think about how this is how I like to think of it. So the moon pulls on the ocean.
Yep.
And it causes it to swell.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because all the because the moon has gravity.
Right.
And so Jupiter also is pulling. Jupiter has a lot of clout in the solar system.
Mm-hmm.
And so who's to say that the mass of Jupiter isn't also having a small effect on the Earth?
Yeah.
And if we're made of everything that the Earth is made of, it's also pulling on us ever so slightly.
Yeah.
And like these ways that are intangible.
So like,
and astrology is our best guess at categorizing what that means.
Right, because all like the zodiac calendar and stuff we're talking about, it's based on the time when you're born,
right,
and what gravitational forces may have been pulling
on you, the position
right,
of the stars.
Position of the stars.
So my question is, where does a black hole fit into astrology?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, I don't know. Do you want your chart read or not? I'm like, okay, I guess we're getting into uncharted territory.
Yeah.
Because astrology is like it's not science.
But
it's speculative.
But there's elements to it that make it not as, wacky and just totally like it's worth. I think even your boy Jordan Peterson acknowledges astrology.
The astrologers of Egypt.
Yeah, they were like conceptualizing things as best as they could, in a way that might have something to do with what's going on.
Yeah.
So
and all Aquarian dudes that I've met, Aquarius guys, I'm an Aquarius.
Yeah.
There's a streak there.
Yeah,
we're weird. We like rainy days, and we're emotionally cold often until we have to, talk.
Right.
And it's like there's something there. I don't like to ascribe much to it, but Nancy Reagan sure did.
Yeah,
Have you heard
she?
about this?
No.
She was a huge astrologer.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
In fact, she wouldn't let Ronald do speeches on certain days of the fucking year because of the lunar calendar. I'm not even exaggerating.
Oh my god.
She would be like, "It's not going to be right, Ronnie. They're not going to feel it. It's not going to hit right." And Ronald would go against her wishes and go around her and get the branch to schedule talks and whatever, and she would be like, "Ronald, I can't believe you did that.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what's at stake?"
Yeah.
Like, she was really in it. So she was informed by some famous astrologers. You can look it up, but she took it very, very seriously.
Wow.
So a lot of the speeches and even like the way that it was rolled out and like the way that they tested things.
Yeah.
At the very top of it came from Nancy, like consulting with people that were looking at the stars and shit.
Yeah.
And now we have the free market and neoliberalism.
Yeah.
Lots of plastic. Yay!
Yeah. No, dude, there's as much of I really appreciate the modern conveniences of capitalism, and I think it's miraculous in a way that we're able to podcast or have every piece of data in our pocket. Like
Vegan eggs.
What's that?
Vegan eggs.
Vegan eggs.
Individually wrapped in plastic.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But I went to Europe last week, and have you ever been?
No, I gotta go.
It's like a bucket list
I'm
thing.
gonna stay, I think.
Yeah, you could just stay. But we went to the Louvre in Paris, and dude, and we saw like these old ancient buildings, and just seeing the ancient artwork and how seriously they took these images and like the brilliant things that they articulated through sculpture, paint, like the great the halls where they had all of these gold statues, like where the kings, they have their crowns and all the the
opulence.
Yeah. Well, it was opulence, but also like they were expressing what it was to live as a human. Like there was paintings of like death and like, love and some of the religious stuff and like all of it. Like they were taking this really seriously. I was trying to think of what these human beings must have like kind of been like, or how they like looked at things.
Right.
And I think it had to be fundamentally different than how we live, just because we kind of like are so spoiled with modern conveniences that we kind of numb down what it is to live.
Yeah. I agree. Although there's always, at least since organized society, there's always been a class issue.
Yeah.
So that's something that's universal.
The class issue is definitely a thing. Yeah.
But yeah, I would rather for instance, I'd rather work in an air-conditioned kitchen making sandwiches than working as a serf in a field,
right,
getting paid a penny a day.
Right, exactly.
And that's sort of the if you're lower class in Rome, your neighborhood smells like shit. If you're lower class in the United States, your neighborhood smells like shit.
Yeah.
It's pretty similar.
Yeah.
But it's less destitute now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm broke, but I have a decent apartment and I have a car that cools me down when I drive it. And like you
Right.
said, Starbucks and shit like that.
Yeah.
So, but I resent it. I really do resent the modern.
Yeah. Yeah. I
heavily.
think we're there's a lot of things that are lost on us.
Yes.
And it's just there's a kind of this herd mentality of just like, I don't know.
And there's also, I'm afraid that we're slipping into, what is it called? The price. It's when you're so far invested in something that you think you can't quit because you've already, the sunk cost fallacy.
Sunk cost fallacy. That's an economic term.
We're in that on like a cultural level. We're like,
when it comes to technology?
Technology and media and everything. We're like, we know that this is hurting us.
Yeah.
Like, but the memes are so funny. We can't stop. And we're so this is how we do things now.
Yeah.
We frame tweets.
Right.
Like, this is how we do things now. So it's like,
I didn't frame that for the record. It was
no,
a
I know.
gift, but
that's a great gift. But my point is, before I lose my point is like, I fucking lost it.
Sunk cost.
The sunk cost. We're so far gone that we're like, well, fuck it. We're going to play our violin while the Titanic sinks. That's the.
Well, my hope is that the what could save us from that going out of control can be found in the same technology that brought us here in a way, in terms of like access to information, and thinking about things, like the amount of data that's being produced and the amount of content that's out there in terms of like, if you're really wanting to like think about things differently, like there are ways to do that.
Yeah, you can learn from home.
We're learning so much.
It's just, but a
lot of people aren't. A lot of people are consuming, not just
exactly. And they're not considering what peer-reviewed science is, like the difference between a peer-reviewed article and like some fucking Reddit post.
Oh well,
and people take those at the same face value.
Well, no, that's a problem.
Yeah,
but I was more talking about like if people want to look at the human condition differently, like they could discover that.
I see.
And like our consciousness could like get past this more shallow like consumerist mindset for those that want to. I mean, I don't know.
I think that's already happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we're getting older and we're the kids that were like first raised with it. And so I think we're saying like, okay, enough's enough a little bit. Like, I mean, I'm still guilty of being on my phone all the time, but we're in a drug recovery term, we're in a pre-cognitive or a pre-contemplative state where we understand that what we're doing is bad, but we can't stop because there's still a reward.
Right.
But that is better than just being blind and just abusing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It'd be cool to keep the modern conveniences without the I don't know.
Well, they're developing enzymes that can like eat plastic and shit. But the problem is there is so much plastic waste that means that we're going to have to turn Malaysia into like a weird plastic enzyme hub. Like because the landfills that we don't see our trash. We send it across the world, right?
Yeah.
They're literally filling up with trash. People are dying because the air pollution is so bad because of our trash.
That is an awful problem.
Yes. So and no one knows how to, because all those people are going to become climate migrants or pollution migrants, and they have to live somewhere. And we can't be like, not in my backyard, but also we want the enzyme. It's like you have to welcome them in, and we're going to have the enzyme that breaks down all the plastic.
Yeah.
You can't have your cake and eat it too. And so many people want that.
Yeah.
They want the solution, and they don't want any fucking immigrants in their backyard.
Yeah.
And man, it's gonna be biting us in the ass here in the next few years. Like it's gonna be really gnarly. No one knows how to refreeze the ice caps. Elon Musk wants us to go to Mars. What do people think that means?
Yeah, Mars is not hospitable.
No. And like we could terraform Mars, we could fucking terraform Earth, but we can't do that yet.
Yeah.
So it's something that we need to think about. This is another topic that I don't touch in my stand-up because it's just so like fuck. You know? But it's something that I think people need to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. Because I've seen those trash islands that are just floating in the ocean, and it's absurd.
That's the tip of the iceberg.
I know the amount of trash I produce, and it's insane.
Right.
And I'm thinking about the amount of millions of people that are doing this on a daily basis.
Yeah, you zoom out.
Yeah,
it's scary to think about.
It is scary. That combined with
I still have. I'm not hopeless. I was a doomer there for a few months. I mean, I was really far gone. I was really, really depressed for a few years.
Yeah.
I took a lecture in a philosophy class, and it was an ecology philosophy week. Like we were talking about nature and shit. And they were talking about the Miocene. No, what is it? The Holocene extinction, which is happening now. Mm-hmm. And I learned all this shit that I'm talking about now with you. And I walked out of that lecture, and it's like everything was in black and white.
Really?
I was like, "You're telling me the Earth is dying?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's what scientists. Yeah, that's what we're telling it." And it's like, and you look around, and people are clinking beers, and I'm like,
yeah,
what
like
the fuck is happening?
On the Titanic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I was seriously like I was pretty much bedridden and drinking a lot for about a year and a half.
A year and a half over this.
It really hit me hard.
So walk me through the
boomers listening to this are like fucking pussy.
Yeah.
But they can go eat a dick.
I want to know. I took some environmental science classes in high school, talking about pesticides and shit. But I'm more curious about not the enzyme. That was what eats the trash. You said something else.
The Holocene extinction.
Holocene. What is Holocene?
The Holocene is the time period that we're in now.
Okay.
So like before, the Anthropocene is what we call like the age of humans, and the Holocene is sort of taking over now, which is scary to think about. Because
what is that?
That means the new era of life on Earth where most species are dying. So
Okay.
like half of most of terrestrial life has died. Half. That was like the big stat that I learned in this lecture. And then we started talking about the oceans and how it's all connected. And it's called the hockey stick. There's a graph that shows like emissions and biodiversity. There's 3 or 4 different lines, and they're all connected. And it's going. Industrial Revolution, it spikes a little bit. It's going. Late 80s, our boy Ronnie Reagan comes in. It goes boop, and then 2000s, 2010s, it's just a straight line, straight up of emissions and all this shit. And they call it the hockey stick because that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's a.
And that's all you need to do is just look at that graph and consider the implications, and it'll make you rethink stuff.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, no one knows how to fix this.
Right.
Billionaires don't know how to fix it.
Right.
So you have to learn to live with that information. And that's what I had to do.
Yeah.
And now it strengthened me as a person because I finally understand the lesson of you got to live like it's your last day.
Yeah.
I finally understand that.
Yeah.
And I also finally understand letting go of stress.
Yeah.
Literally, physically relaxing your body and letting go of stress.
Yeah.
It's something that people had told me about my whole life.
Right.
And I'd always go, what the fuck are you talking about?
Isn't it funny how certain things you've heard for decades resonate differently when you're ready to hear it?
Yeah.
It's,
you got to be ready. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so to tie it all together, like I was very depressed for a while. I was a doomer. I was in a subreddit collapse, which is where people just talk about how it's all going to shit.
Yeah.
And just a feedback loop of like,
Yeah.
no hope.
Yeah.
Give up. Stay in bed, get high, nothing matters.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, bud.
Yeah.
You're 27. Like, that's how people, choke on their vomit and die. Like,
yeah. Yeah, for sure, man.
So I've climbed out of that hole. And that's basically when I started doing stand-up.
Dude, I was going to ask if that correlated because I feel like I've kind of, in my 20s, I would get kind of on these negative spirals.
Yeah.
In early part of COVID, I think I did too.
Yeah.
Where you're like you can focus on the negative if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of apocalyptic things to look at. But I felt like stand-up got me out of it because like you have to let go of your own shit to do it.
Exactly.
In any sort of effective way.
Right.
So, and then also I think there's something powerful about like creative expression in general. As being very therapeutic in some weird way.
It's group therapy, dude.
It's group therapy.
You're sharing.
Your authentic. Good art is like your authentic expression.
Yes.
It's art by definition is like, new. It's like something that came from you.
Yeah.
And it's your authentic. Like good art is authentic.
Right.
So if you're putting your authentic self out there, and also it kind of deals with the time thing, because I feel like good stand-up sets that I've had where like in the moment. You're not thinking about time before or after. Right. It's just pure like joy and meaning. Yeah. Right there.
In the moment.
Mm-hmm. and you're not worried about your own death,
Right.
the death of civilization.
Nope.
You're just experiencing life in a little window.
Yeah.
And then you kind of, for me, I mean, I do, like I feel good right after, hopefully.
Same.
And then a few hours after, I really have a lot of joy of just like being with friends and like just like such a cool thing. Like that's how I feel about stand up. And
Definitely.
But yeah, it was weird. I do remember being very negative, like when the crazy, elections, and then there's riots, and then there's protest, and then there's like all this.
Yes.
And if you want to focus on that drama, it's so toxic. I don't
Yeah.
even watch anything political anymore.
And that's one of the algorithm's favorite things, because it's people are more likely to get fixated on negative shit, obviously.
Yeah, we're more sensitive to negative emotion, I think.
And I mean, I was addicted to stress. People are addicted to stress because they consider it to be their default mode. And so they're like, well, I need that stress. Because I remember I had a manager of a restaurant once. This is one of the stupidest things someone's ever said to me.
Yeah.
She said, I like the stress of these jobs. It keeps me young. Meaning she thought it meant that like the stress of the job every day kept her like moving.
Yeah.
But that could not be further from the truth. Stress kills you.
Well, what kind of stress was she talking about?
Like
what job? Like
every month not knowing if the restaurant would be able to stay open.
Oh, that
paying
kind of stress
bills.
is not
like
healthy. Paying
and
bills,
dude, being a manager at a restaurant sucks.
Yeah.
Because everyone's fucking up all the time.
Yeah.
You take a pay cut technically.
Yeah.
Because servers make great money.
Right.
And once you become salaried, but you're working more hours than a server.
Yeah. And you
you're
don't get
losing.
any bump after the extra hours. Yeah.
So that's serious stress. Like that's going gray early kind of stress.
Right.
That'll kill you 20 years earlier than you would otherwise if you're just like relaxed.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's certain.
And I don't want to die.
I don't want to die either. Gosh.
Not yet.
Afraid of death. But yeah, some things I actually do find like I like being busy better than being idle in terms of like that to me would be like a healthier form of stress of like having to work where I'm like checking off items on a list versus I've had a sales job over the last several years where like the stress is in the moments where I'm not doing anything, but I'm wondering about, is that sale going to happen or not? And if it doesn't happen, I'll miss this thing, this goal that I have to hit. Then if I miss the goal, then I might get fired. And if I get fired, I'm not going to find another job. And if I don't find another job, I'm never going to get a wife or anything else and be on the street.
Yeah.
And then, but you're not doing anything. Like I'd almost rather be on an assembly line, like doing a repetitive, task.
Yeah.
In some
Come make
instances.
sandwiches with me, bro.
Yeah.
It's literally an assembly line.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, I have a similar moment at work sometimes, quite often, frankly. All the tickets come in at once. Like they're trickling in, and then bam, that's the lunch rush. And it's just the ticket machine just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And there's a moment where it's just printing and printing and printing, and there's no space left on your board for more tickets. And you can sit there and look at the tickets and listen to the machine and think, oh God, it's never going to end, is it? We're going to be like this for 2 hours straight.
Or you can just start working
Or you can just make a ticket. Yeah. Just pull it, make it. And the stress, it vanishes when you just, I'll just make sandwiches.
When you start doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same, it's sort of the feeling of walking up to the stage and then picking up the mic. Like, it's a storm, and then you pick up and you just go.
Yeah.
You try to go.
Yeah. No, that's a great analogy.
I find it very difficult to be present on stage, doubly present, because I'm present in the moment of trying to articulate all the jokes correctly.
Yeah.
But I also want to be present and, hey, look, that guy's laughing. Like, remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have very few moments on stage where I'm like, oh shit, I'm doing stand up right now and people are laughing. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I
which I feel like we should be able to just, enjoy that.
I think you get there over time.
I'm sure you're right.
But
you're right.
You're right. I don't even know. Like I try to like talk to people. Like I try to be present like that.
Yeah, you talk to the crowd or you talk to the room.
Yeah. Yeah. And I hope to not do it in a way that like encourages conversation too much. But it's that's all I know how to do is in terms of the comedy side of things. Like I don't have a lot of characters or crazy stuff that I do, but
I think you're good at feeling out the room.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, bro. Yeah. But
It's because it doesn't backfire on you. Like you won't, because you'll be like, I'm scared of girls, like ladies, you know what I'm talking about, and you'll sort of look around and you'll sort of raise your eyebrows, and the girls are like, oh yeah. That sort of thing is good, because then they're gonna lean in.
Yeah,
because you've said something true, you've said something that's honest, and that's like vulnerable.
Yeah,
and you're not just going, so the other day I was on the train. You know,
right.
You're actually like talking to people.
Yeah, I try to do that, but
Dougie Almeida, is that his name? He's great at that.
Yeah.
He was really great at Comedy Zone Thursday. Everybody had a great set.
Dude, I loved, and that could be the last thing we talk about, I guess, because I think we're on time. But, dude, okay, so last night, Comedy Zone, mostly black audience, which I love. I don't know if have you performed?
I hadn't yet.
You hadn't?
I was like,
congrats,
that was
bro.
kind of exciting.
Yeah, I hadn't in a while, but you know, we had gone to Atlanta before and gotten booed off the stage from an all black crowd before.
Wow,
but
that's humbling.
Yeah, and in Columbia, Michael Garrick has a great room called The Joint on Mondays. That's predominantly black crowd, and the energy is just so different, and it's like this kind of like somebody said it's kind of like, you know, the difference between white church and black church. There's a lot of amening and reacting and a lot of emotion and just
interaction.
Interaction. And like we're kind of used to a more of a mixed general audience on Thursdays. So I loved seeing the comics like react to it and figure out that, okay, my normal jokes aren't going to work the same way. So we got to like get with these people.
Yeah.
Be confident, be aggressive. Yes. If they give you shit, you got to give it right back.
Right. Adapt.
It's like, and then they, you know, that like, a crowd like they tend to respect you more when you do that. And I thought a lot of comics like kind of had little breakthrough moments.
Yeah, they were pushing the edge.
Yeah, and just trying shit and being
it was fun.
Yeah,
and I think no one got walked all over.
No.
Pretty much, like pretty much everyone was like, all right, you know.
Yeah, nobody pissed down their leg and just had a, you know, horrible time of it.
Like, and I mean, if you have to go, okay, shut the fuck up, that's funny. You know? As long as your tone is right, you don't want to come off too mean.
Right. It's like learning how to put down a heckler the right way,
which is I haven't had that yet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I'm scared, dude. I freeze up when people get in my face.
Yeah.
Like there's fight or flight, I think that's what it's called. I just fly. I've never fought.
My reaction is flight. Just for sure.
Run. So I'm worried that I'm going to like go up there and eat it, but that's when it's good to like be in the moment.
Yeah. Dude, you're Steve-O.
I'm proud of that one.
No, I was going to mention this earlier, but the thing that I love about the Steve-O impression is the build-up, because you do that
the throat singing.
The throat singing in
Mongolia.
Yeah. That's right.
That's where that's from.
That's where that's from.
It's an accurate bit.
Because it to me, it takes a lot of guts to commit to that type of bit, because the throat singing, I don't know how many seconds. Have you timed yourself for how long the throat singing is?
It's about 15 seconds.
15 seconds is an eternity to do a throat singing thing on stage.
Because people are like,
oh, dude.
Where is this going?
No, you say odd.
Oh shit, dude, that was awesome.
Because I can just pick, because like they always do it on the top of a mountain because the acoustics are good, and the Mongolians, I mean, and so like tourists will trek up the steps.
Yeah.
Steppes, that's what their mountains are called.
Yeah.
And they're usually like crouched and just watching, like as they do the and they're just like, wow. So I can just picture Steve-O going like, holy shit. Like, so that's why the bit works for me, is because I can see it so clearly.
Yeah.
I try to always, whenever I'm doing Jordan Peterson, I try to imagine that he's looking at someone in the front row and like lecturing them, which is something that he does, which is really weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
he looks at individual audience members.
If I had a professor in college that was like, I would be like, I'd sit in the back every day after that. That's fucking weird.
It is weird. I've heard him talk about how it compares to stand-up with like Rogan or whatever. How he uses individual audience members' expressions as a gauge of whether or not he's resonating, and he kind of keeps that. And he
make sure he didn't lose the crowd or anything.
Yeah, basically.
That's smart. Some professors don't give a shit. They're just gonna talk.
Yeah, for sure.
They don't care if you're a slave. It's like, I'm tenured.
Yeah. But, you know, that's what comics have to do. You kind of have to, like, always be aware of, you know, how people are taking you.
Because no one wants to see a guy on stage that thinks he's cool.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's cooler than you. You want to be, like, as cool.
And if you're not talking to them, you kind of are above them.
Right, exactly.
Sort of. So like if you're really talking to them, you can say arrogant stuff in jest, sort of, if that's who you want to be, and it'll still work.
Yeah.
If you're talking to them.
Right.
But yeah, talked a lot about stand-up philosophy. I thought it was not too cringy though. That was all right.
No.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, this was fun, man.
Fucking
I could
A.
keep talking to you for like hours. This is
this is great.
You're like, you seem to be like a pretty like you love comedy and
I do.
yeah.
It's giving me a reason to keep going. Like
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah.
It's something to look forward to
Yeah.
because I can't look forward to work and
Yeah.
I can't afford a vacation. So
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like an asshole talking about Europe trips and stuff. Like
no, don't.
This is no, in general,
Everybody
because
needs
I
to-
talked about, I tried to tell like a story about something
Mhm.
on Wednesday, and you know, a lot of it was like, I didn't even have punchlines. I just wrote some stuff,
Right.
Like on like coming back,
Mhm.
but you know, whatever.
Yeah.
No,
No, but yeah, I love it. And I'm a podcast guy, so I want to come out here and try to emulate the good podcasts I've seen and shit like that. So I try to come with like my game, you know. I don't want to be some boring ass.
No, dude. I mean, half of our like on here aren't really that polished or whatever, but dude, this was yeah, I had a blast.
Good shit.
Got anything you want to shout out? Your Instagram or whatever?
Yeah, Lewis Kirk Comedy, Lewis_Kirk_comedy, I think is what my Instagram is. I post clips there every few weeks.
Yeah.
I like to post stories as well that are silly. And I also have a TikTok, which is Supro_static, I believe.
Supro-static.
Which I don't know what that is. It's just something I came up with.
Okay.
But yeah, I try to post funny shit every week. And I'm up, you know, Monday night, Coffee Underground, Tuesday night, Radio Room, Wednesday night. I'm nowhere now.
There's
Where's
only
myself?
Asheville.
Yeah.
If
But yeah.
we might have to do some carpool
Yeah.
stuff with people who want to do a mic on Wednesday.
That would be sick.
Although if we did that, Asheville would probably be so pissed because they already have like a scene with like
Right.
a list of 20 people. So if 20 assholes from Greenville show up, we'd be like, oh, hey
A whole
guys.
bus.
Yeah,
The short bus.
They already have given us shit a couple of times when like 5 of us showed up.
Wow, they said something? They're like, you're biting our...
No, not really. Although I would just say that like sometimes some of the newer comics doing shock type stuff,
Right,
and like
scaring the crowd.
in front of a real audience, and the general level of Asheville comics is a little bit better. I'll just say that. It's
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
It's fucking better.
Yeah.
It's
It's not a hard... It's not a
you
high
know, we
bar
talked
around
about
here.
keeping it real.
Yeah, no,
You know?
it's
I
not
mean,
a high
that
bar
Greenville's
around
not
here.
good, and I think it's getting better.
Yeah,
for
for
sure.
sure.
But it's it's not Asheville. Yeah.
Nah.
So like, but like when we there's like, oh fuck, another Greenville guy gonna say something fucking
Right.
horrible.
He's going to get up here and do some, because I've done that a few
You've
times.
done that. Yeah.
And one person laughed.
Yeah.
And then the next time I did that bit, it was just you could hear a pin drop. So I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid to come see me.
Don't be-
I probably won't bomb. I'm looking at you, friends. Dude,
no.
how about inviting friends week after week and no one ever shows up? That's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't.
Because they're like, dude, if I come out and see you and you bomb, I'm never going to be able to look at you.
I don't
same.
invite friends.
That's smart. I don't either.
It's not smart. It's probably insecure. I should. I mean, sometimes like. I mean, by now.
I throw it on my story every week, and it's like, why am I even posting this? I'm going to wait for a few more years, and then I'll let people know again that I do stand up.
Yeah, it's fine.
But seriously, come on out.
Yeah, dude. No, yeah. It's
Come see this
hilarious.
guy, too. David's fucking awesome. David's hilarious.
That's awesome. Well, dude.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man.
Should we
Thanks
bump
for coming.
mics?
Yeah. Who's that?
Yeah.
I'm blanking on the name because my brain's fried.
The name of this?
David Tell, bumping mics.
Oh,
Jeff
yeah.
Ross.
Yeah.
Not that that's important.
No. But David Tell's great, though.
All right. Thanks for coming on, dude.
Good
See you
night.
next time, guys.